Spoon. Spoon. Trying to find a way to do this. Welcome friends. For trying to find a place to house my guitar and unison to my other guitar. Where is this? Why, thank you, brother. Brother or sister, I can't tell. Right now we're just doing some quick mastering, kind of figuring out volume. Why, thank you. It's the same I've always looked, but I'm feeling excellence. Yeah. It's the usual realm of, yeah, feeling awesome. Place this baby here. And now shall I do this? Plug this guy in. Master the volume. This guy. I definitely slept well, so I think that reflects maybe on that. Nice. Okay, let's see. Flip on. No, not that one. This one. This is the trick, is finding the way to. Yeah. Pickup artist is back. The pickup artist. Sure, let's go. Let's go with that. I don't know if I'd ever consider myself a pickup artist, but if we're using like, yeah, pickups, like beautiful Floyd Rose pickups, guitar pickups, then absolutely, dog. I'm your guy. Beautiful. Just gonna experiment with the setup here. Cheers. we we do stuff. We do stuff and things related to music, which is, it's hard to go wrong with that, right? It's hard to go wrong with this. It's crazy. It's actually snowing right now outside, which is not the norm. It's a beautiful sight. So I'm going to kick it out there for a moment. Nice. We'll be back in our studio in the next 10 minutes. I see. Yeah, for those of you that have been here last day or so, I got a new Ibanez guitar. Beautiful, Floyd Rose pickup, Ibanez. Been exploring that a lot today. And man, it's almost like what I've noticed, immediately, there's a few things that are just powerful alongside the whammy bar and etc. But the pickups, the way just the intonation is, the way the Ibanez plays is very much exactly it's very much like an acoustic guitar, like this electric guitar that I have, the Ibanez. It's like you can play all this silky, crazy silky stuff, double-handed tapping, harmonics, slap harmonics on the Ibanez, which makes me really happy because my Jackson hasn't always had that. The hat says real one. Nice. That's great, dog. Thank you for sharing. Oh yeah, so far, I'll be honest, having a new guitar like that, it's kind of a double-edged sword in some degree where it's tricky. There's a lot of nuances, and I haven't played an electric guitar, a true electric guitar, in 4 months. So just getting back into the flow of just navigating the waters of electric guitars with all the new stuff, it's a challenge. I'm the kind of guy, I look at it, I'm like, okay, I see the long-term potential. But of course, I've been playing for acoustic guitar. They're 4 hours a day, so I still have ways of just transferring that flow. What do I think of Veilton? Not sure what Veilton is, yeah. Veilton. I'm assuming that's a type of guitar or something. Jurassic Park theme. I think I've had that asked before, and no, I have no idea how to play the Jurassic Park theme. Honestly, yeah, nothing comes to mind with that. Plus, I do not want to get copyright infringed. No, thank you. No thanks to copyright infringement. Yeah. Pull up the didgeridoo. One day, bro, 1000%. I was actually just talking about that. I would rock a didgeridoo. I would love to. But, gotta find one. Gotta find one that really connects. But it would complement, I think, this style very well. Nice. Bon Jovi. Cool, man. Yeah, I get Axl Rose for some reason and Bon Jovi a lot lately. I don't know. I guess people are just feeling, really honoring those artists. Thank you, brother. I love Harmonics. Yeah, if you have any questions about Harmonics, artificial Harmonics, I would love to, share my perspective. What a load of... Thank you, James. Or Jem Shaw, whatever his weird-ass name. You've done it, brother. You've unlocked... You've unlocked the achievement, and that achievement is you've lost the ability to comment, brother. For 10 minutes, don't worry. You're not fully cooked. Can I play a song? I'm improvising, yes. I have to wipe down this guitar. Yeah. How's it going? Love the pan flute, pan pipes. Listened for 30 years. Wow, never stopped, and they're super cool, relaxing music. Thank you, dog. Thank you. I love this thing too. Yeah, I actually carry these with me everywhere. This guy, and yeah, man, it never fails to surprise me how much people connect with this instrument. Just on such a way. It's such a unique sound, and it's very ancient. Yeah. Such a beautiful sound. Understand the depths and weight of your choices. And yeah. Especially as men, but as human beings, all of us, I think it's really important to continuously understand, just how much we create our reality with our choices. Whether we're choosing, whether we're choosing to reinforce narratives, that aren't serving us, they're disempowering, that are limiting. Whether we're choosing low, dense emotions, things like anger, frustration, negative projections. We choose these things. We choose these. We've reinforced these with our habits. Oof. I gotta change this a little bit. It's clipping out my preamp. Good thought, though. We all have free will. We can all, we all have the freedom to choose unwisely. We can make negative decisions that destroy our life if we desire to, but we have the freedom to choose. But this is always like this is a reminder to continuously return to that which is aligned with healthy choices, intelligent choices. Obviously, we're going to make mistakes. Obviously, we're going to fail and make decisions that, translate into failure, but that's okay. We all have more power than we could ever imagine. Sure, yeah. I sing the biggest, best rock band songs ever. Nice. And the biggest bands in the world and sound just like that. Just like them. Okay. Super cool. I surprise people in the subways. Yo, that's amazing. Interesting. Voice text, word, facts. With that, bro, thank you for sharing. That's dope. I mean, it's it's so easy, we do this in many different forms, but it's so easy as me as a streamer to like, you know, become desensitized to the beautiful nature of these human beings behind this text. Just the fact of like, yeah, bro, thank you for sharing, what's been real with you, what's been like, making you happy, bro, and just sharing these beautiful songs with the world. You're doing great. I spoke of this a lot yesterday actually with some of my regular viewers, where it's like, yeah, dog, if you're vulnerable and strong enough to be vulnerable and sing your heart out, to strangers and etc., right? You've already succeeded. Like, you've succeeded very much, right? I think that's a very beautiful thing. I've gone and done similar things. I love to perform in various contexts. I've gone and busked, and busking was actually the originator of this channel here, right? I mean, I think my journey is my own. I feel like I'm a guitarist, I've been a guitarist for 16 years or so. 5, 6 years I've been singing and vocalizing, composing, and etc. But yeah, no, it's beautiful. Whatever allows you to just authentically express yourself, your truth. Like, if you're just singing your heart out, you're expressing your authentic truth, whether that's in your words, whether that's in your voice, your songs, whatever it is, right? That is the path. Like, that is really surely, that will connect you to something beautiful. It's nice here. This is like the backyard view. It's melting snow. It was snowing a lot earlier. Now it's just this chill white blanket, yeah. What is good? Welcome, brother from UK. What's good, Austin? Blessings from Canada. Blessings from Canada. I surprise the hell out of people, and it's more fun when they least expect it. Absolutely, man. Yeah, you're doing great stuff. You're doing great work. It always makes me really happy when I'm just roaming through just like random, SkyTrain things, going on my way to places, and I run into random musicians that are just killing it, pouring their heart out. That's great, bro. Bless. Thank you, brother. Break out the best rock songs. That's nice. Yeah, that's a good energy, dude. You're bringing great energy to the world around you. That's awesome. Yo, what's good? The stupid ass doesn't give you more talent. That's true. It doesn't need to give me talent. I've had the 16 years of guitar and discipline and devotion to the craft way before I got this hat. This hat I got 4 days ago, but I love this hat. But thank you for sharing. Thank you for revealing Abe, whatever your numbers are. Thank you for revealing your means of suppressing. Your means of how you're showing how much you yourself has suppressed your ability to just express yourself. And I hope you overcome that, dog. I hope you don't get triggered and project negativity on people who wear clothing that, you yourself can't feel confident enough to express. But you will one day, Abe. So, yeah, you got this. You got this, friend. Nice. Hey, Ron, what you doing, bro? I'm doing great, Alassar. I'm great. I'm doing great, man. I slept well. I got a freaking beautiful Ibanez just like just staring me at the beautiful freaking red eclipse burst. Like, life is good, man. 0 minutes with the toothbrush. Thank you for that. Yeah, I feel like we got some homies. I'm assuming, yeah, that are here to grant themselves timeouts in bands. This is what I'm seeing here. Yeah, my girl loves you. That's weird, bro. But thank you. That's a compliment. I'm sure. Yeah, bro. I don't know why you guys always make the connection to Willy Wonka. I see something different. This is like, I see a revival of an 1800s, you know, or 18th century freaking 80s rock star, you know, expressive hat. I mean, you can't see the true color. Maybe you can make it a little bit, but this is dark, rich red. It's not chocolate. It's only because of this camera, the lighting and the camera, you may make it out to be like a dark brown or something, which is chill. I'm all good with that. But if you look in real life, you can only see it with the naked eye. This is actually a dark, rich, uh, auburn garnet. It's like an auburn garnet. It's a beautiful color palette, but you can only see it in real life, and that's kind of part of the magic, right? But yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Willy Wonka. Honestly, bro, like I gotta say, Willy Wonka's dope. I mean, that's high praise. Like, dude, Willy Wonka's a legend. And freaking Timothy Chalamet playing him. I didn't really like the Timothy Chalamet remake, but I love Timothy Chalamet, so, you know, if he's dope enough for him, then why not? Personally, I love the hats. I don't see WW. I see steampunk. You know, everyone sees what they want to see. That's the beauty. This is projection. This is, you know, reality, right? People see what they want to see. I see what I love to see. I see me. I don't see I don't see Willy Wonka. I don't see whatever people want to. You know, I see me. This is my hat. I love it. This is like a beautiful extension of my energy, right? And it makes more sense when you see my new Ibanez guitar. uh, I sing Neil Diamond greats, hits. Nice. You seem to have good taste in music, Mark Lloyd. Personally, I love the hat. Yeah, thank you, Eartha. I think I'm missing comment. No? No? I don't know. I'm going through these comments. Seeing words and people. Try so hard to seem interesting. Not trying at all, bro. It's the exact same way. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing, though, Brand the Balls. I really appreciate you, bro. You're making this easy. You're making this super easy to filter out those that likely are not my target audience. I appreciate you being here, though, dog. You're allowed. You can take those 10 minutes to reflect on why you desired to express that kind of comment. But, you know, you can take a moment to see the chats. You can see, you know, what's, you know, get a clue, you know, figure out what's going on here. Or you can just leave. You know, I don't need people projecting weird stuff. Magic. Look at the teeth, guys. I'm so confused, bro. What's going on with this? Is like people got some sort of weird fetish with teeth or something. They're just expressing about teeth. I don't know, bro. I've got very nice teeth. I'm drinking a bunch of cacao, but that's about as far as that goes, dog. Yeah. You could play with your teeth. That would go viral. Word. That sounds like a terrible, outlandish idea. I don't give a fuck about going viral, bro. I'm a YouTuber, dog. I don't know about you, but YouTubers that sit there and just try to be like, well, let's roll those dice. Let's get 1,000,000 views. Come on, let's do it. 1,000,000 views or bust. Those, I don't know, bro. I don't give a fuck about going viral. If you're new to this channel, I'm grinding, bro. I'm building this community. I'm building a community here. You know, virality is great. You know, if you can get a cash out on a 1,000,000 view long format video, like, hats off to you, my friends. But yeah, I don't give a flying fuck about going viral. No. T-Cell. Wow. Thank you. Nice. Doing lots of nothing. It's called guitar. I think you pronounced doing guitar and doing a YouTube stream. You pronounce that weird. You pronounce that very weirdly, Roxanne. Doing a whole lot of nothing. Welcome to a YouTube live stream. You know, where the facilitator, the YouTuber, you know, because you're not a YouTuber clearly, he talks. He speaks words. He has a dialogue. He has, you know, engages in commentary. And for me, I play guitar because that's what I do. Is I teach people music. I play guitar. I perform guitar. But welcome, welcome. I love you people though. I love you guys, especially those that are, you know, projecting, making it really easy. You guys are making it really easy for me to literally just go like, hey, word, there's another person that I get to just toss out, toss on their ass, bro. So then, you know, I can filter the comment section, keep my target audience, you know? That's just the way, bro. YouTube just occasionally deletes my comments. That's bonkers, bro. Fuck that. I don't think I'm copying him, bro. I didn't even know what to Brandon. I didn't know what August Rush was until everyone started recommending it to me. I've been playing this style of guitar for like 11 years. And I've been playing guitar as a whole for much longer than that. So, yeah, I just figured what August Rush was last week. But I think it's a beautiful movie. I was actually astonished to this day to be like, whoa, this movie literally is using a similar type of like slap harmonic style. But check out my videos, bro. Clearly, I've been teaching people slap harmonics for many, many years. Way before I knew who August Rush was. Yeah. Shout out to Attack on Titan, yeah. Shout out to Attack on Titan for those guys that are familiar with Attack on Titan. Wicked show, beautiful music. It's true. Bro, I'd be surprised. I don't know if you're familiar. If you watch August Rush closely, he's not playing real guitar. Like, the kid is not doing real guitar. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's the illusion. It's movie magic. August Rush clearly is not playing an actual guitar. And if you look closely, you'd see the flaws and see the difference between an actual guitarist. No hate at, you know, the August Rush movie. I love that movie. But, yeah, dog. Yeah. This is, welcome to the guitar world where people play guitar and do stuff in the real world. It's not like a movie. Tool. I don't know. I wouldn't throw hate at Tool, but I'm not a cover artist. I'm an original improv artist. Yeah. Welcome to this YouTube stream and this YouTube channel. Those of you that are new to this channel. Yeah, that's bro, come on, let's be real. Tool rocks. Like, come on, man. Do you practice hand movements, Ashay? I do, Marcel. Yeah, bro. You know, I've expressed in this channel, I mean, I don't practice hand movements, really. That's the weird thing is I play guitar. Like, I do this, right? When the camera's on, the camera's off, I do the same thing. I improvise. I play guitar. I write music. Hours a day, at least 3 to 4 hours. But I also am a tutter. So I do finger tutting. I'm a dancer. I do popping, locking, liquid, animation. Like, I'm an avid dancer. I've been doing dance just as long as I've been doing guitar. So for me, dance is basically a way of strengthening my muscle memory, my musicality. It's like my ability to, say, play piano and play guitar is actually enhanced and complemented by my ability to dance. And straight up, like, if you see, like, when I go to raves and shows and whatever, I'll dance for like 4 hours at a time. Like, I'm dancing for 4 hours. I'm getting in flow states. You know, I'm hitting complex beats. It's great. dance is like the best way to sharpen your muscle memory, and really strengthen your musicality. I say this all day long, but you got to see it to know it. I have a video of the original vocalists playing in their hometown because I'm from Dallas. Nice. Nice. You got beautiful playing. Thank you, brother. Oh, I'm just getting warmed up, truth. I'm going to go back in my studio and do lots of deeper stuff. Remember breaking out Bittersweet Symphony. I didn't know how big the band was. In Liverpool. The Verb. Interesting. I've had people recommend the Verb. I don't even remember who the Verb is, but it sounds very familiar. But you need cool people to dance with. My friends are lame. That sucks, dude. I mean, Marcel, though, every single rave I've ever gone to, like 90% of them, I go alone. I go by myself. Lately, sometimes I go with my partner because, like, we go together and she has a car, drives me there. We go this and that, all the fun stuff. But I swear, bro, 90% of the time I go alone. You make friends, bro. You make friends. You dance, you connect. You don't need friends that are, cool or whatever. Sure, some people just aren't into the dance scene. Maybe some people are alcoholic, drug type, or, I rave sober, right? That's kind of part of my thing is I love to party and dance, and I do it sober, and have for 11 years. There's not a lot of people that do that, so I just go out, and I just meet people. I meet lots of people, guys and girls, and I just connect and meet tons of cool people. So you just gotta almost give yourself permission to just go out there and meet the dance community. You don't need friends. You don't do it with a bunch of friends. I mean, this takes confidence. This takes, like, you gotta be confident. You gotta be grounded, but that's the way, bro. I swear. I've been going to raves literally for, all ages, so about 15, 16 years. And yeah, you go by yourself, bro. You make friends. You meet some of the most incredible, incredible people. Yeah, I highly recommend, man. It's life-changing. The confidence you get from just, meeting people, like making friends on the spot, meeting guys and girls. I've met pretty much all the romantic partners I've had in the last 3 years strictly from dancing. Sometimes ecstatic dances, sometimes at like conscious events or raves or whatever, and it's like it's a powerful social portal. I would say it's probably the most. Nice. 30 years, loves raves, loved every one of them. Yeah, nice. Nice. From the pieces I'm gathering of you, Mark Lloyd, you seem like a dope dude. Yeah, bro. Honestly, I mean, I'm 31, and yeah, I've been raving for 16 years, and legitimately, again, 11 of those years completely sober, which is not a normal endeavor. But I swear by it, bro. Life-changing. If you can embrace the dance scene, embrace your energy, fluently dance and connect with your body, as an artist especially, life-changing. Literally life-changing. I guess I'm not alone then. Just a product of my environment. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm the kind of dude that I'm like a quintessential example of what's the word? Like a loner, like a hyper independent dude. Where like I'm also identical twin. I've spoken this many times. Is like I'm a twin, so I'm never really alone. But yeah, I'm the kind of dude that for so many years of my life, my biggest crippling thing is I think I can do everything by myself. At least that's how I was as a kid, right? I was always like the dude that just wanted to achieve everything by himself, didn't want to reach out for help, right? And that being said, it's also a strength. Like when you get to this place where you're genuinely happy being completely alone. You know, you're like a force of nature in your own energy. You know how to really just achieve and understand and create things in solitude, in your solitary, presence. You become unstoppable. Because, if we look at this on a philosophical level, if we'll go there, we are born alone, we die alone. We are aloneness, like we are the emptiness. We are truly, like, humanity, we have community, we have, intimacy with other human beings. We're social creatures, but inevitably on a deep level, we are alone. Aloneness is our nature, right? 1990s raving. I'll be honest, dog. That's I'm sure it was a trip, but that's kind of that doesn't sound like a vibe. I feel like raving. I'm sure raving had some positives and some negatives, but I think raving has, fortunately, it's gone in a positive direction. I think it's evolved in the last like 20, 30 years, where I think raving when it was like underground was probably a very chaotic thing. Probably still beautiful, probably still powerful in a movement, but I can't imagine raving in the 1990s. Mosh pits are what's up. You get that tension out somehow. Sure. I don't know, bro. To false avatar, I imagine, bro, I've been to a couple punk shows, not many actually, and I love them. I go there, I meet phenomenal human beings, have a beer, enjoy some phenomenal music. And honestly, I can throw some crazy like spin kicks, and I'm very like body aware. I love movement. I think moshing is super dope. But I think some people, I think they take it to a weird place. Like, when they're like sometimes when you're at raves or something, or like intense electronic music shows, you'll have those random people get super hammered and they're just pushing each other and trying to like create a mosh pit. I think there's a time and place for a mosh pit. It's like I think people should learn to read the room if they're gonna mosh. But I imagine getting the tension out is good, I suppose. Contributes to people damaging their bodies, malevolent entities manifesting themselves. Wow. That's a powerful statement, man. I would not say, yeah. George. Ashes that, and that attributes to damaging their bodies. I don't know if that's exclusive to crackheads. I think George is probably, I don't know about the malevolent entities. Again, super subjective, but he's right. Like, if people aren't reading the room, if they're not being self-aware, surely moshing isn't like a universally, yeah, like we're expressing our body. Bruv, you can express your body through expressive, cathartic dance, right? If you want to get out tension, go hit a heavy bag, go to a martial art gym, like freaking bang it out, right? That's where you should be like getting out tension, lifting PRs and strength training till destruction. If you don't want to do that in a mosh pit, by all means, but don't act like that's like the way, right? That's George is not wrong, and I don't think it's just exclusive to crackheads. That's a bold statement, man. Amazing. What time is it right here? Nice, 11:38. Nice. I'm going to fill up this cacao and go back inside of our studio. Are twins alone? I mean, physically, no, but maybe on an emotional, energetic level, sure. You know? There's a difference between physically being maybe alone and experiencing, aloneness. Experiencing maybe feeling alone or whatever. But I don't know. Again, I think the sort of weird paradox of being a twin is you're technically not actually alone, and you have maybe many, powerful positives, and for most of your childhood you have an entity that is around you, another human being that is a reflection of you, which is a positive, but it can also quickly become a negative, right? All depends on a lot of stuff. Okay, we're back in the studio. Magic. Alright. Let's grab some more cacao and then old school rave song. Sure. I don't know if old school rave songs is necessarily old school rave songs. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't alive in the. I don't know. I was like a child in the '90s, but all I can say is that music, like I understand electronic music very intimately. The 2000s were an incredible era for electronic music. Like 2000s, 2010, magic time in my opinion. But if we're talking about old school like techno, techno and maybe electro house and I don't know, synth wave and that stuff's all dope and that's alive as ever. Like that's not a those genres are very alive. I'm gonna grab some of this. Wicked. Men suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. Alan Watts. Good words, Alan. Well, life is not a problem to be solved, but an experience to be had. Another Alan Watts. All right, let's go back to this. 2000s were the peak. Look up Fibonacci sequence. Oh yeah, I'm aware of the Fibonacci sequence. If you're talking about something that's like a band named Fibonacci sequence, but I love this Fibonacci, brother. I think a lot of us, if you've ever done LSD, you probably understand the Fibonacci to some degree. Welcome, Cookie. What's good? Like desires or some things, etc., etc. You know, sometimes people can get a certain stare that's extremely weird, and you know they're going through some pretty negative thoughts. Yeah. Yeah, but nah. I would say to George, honestly, bro, I think what you're part of what you're interpreting, because yeah, we're talking about intent. You know, maybe we're talking about people, you know, subconscious projections, dysregulated nervous systems, all of those things, right? All of those things. You need to realize that part of why people will show up, you know, to a dance scene, right? If you're talking about in the context of a dance scene, let's use that as an example, but this applies everywhere. If you're going to a dance scene, right, you're going to a social dynamic where people are showing up to express themselves, to connect with other human beings. You need to realize that people on a deeper level are trying to learn to navigate these dynamics. You know, they're showing up with maybe a dysregulated nervous system, a dysregulated dopaminergic system, and they're trying to learn to, on some level, unpackage what they're going through. And what I'm simply saying is, people need to learn these things somewhere. People in the real world, you know, they're learning how to navigate these social waters. Maybe it's things like consent. Maybe it's things like, again, regulating stress in their nervous system, how to simply communicate to people in an integral and healthy way. And you're right, some people suck at this. Most people suck at this. This is like a weird 2026 modern struggles. A lot of people, and this is where, in my mind, you know, I've been going to the dance scene for many years. I've met many partners through the dance scene. I have a deep level of confidence, reverence, and presence on the dance floor in these social contexts. Never did as a kid or as a teenager. But I'm telling you, is like, yeah, people lack self-awareness, they lack understanding boundaries, they lack ability to regulate their nervous system. But you shouldn't judge or shame people and be like, wow, people are just inevitably broken or XYZ. You know, you're a human being just as they are. These are people, human beings, trying to figure these things out, right? Everyone deserves the ability to unpackage and learn and try to be a better human being without, shame or, everyone's going to feel dysregulated here and there. And they don't need people to be judging them, be like, oh man, people are just XYZ, or this man or this woman is dysregulated, or is this, that. I mean, sure, some people, they're disgraceful, they're atrocious, and just on the deepest level, they're very corrupt, broken human beings. But most people are relatively good. You are what you're a reflection of what they're a reflection of what you are, of what you see in them, right? Of what you're projecting energetically and emotionally, etc., to them. So yeah, it's part of why people go out to socialize, to live in the real world, is to push themselves out of their comfort zones to learn how to navigate social waters. And again, the key word of what I just said is very important, within a lot of this, is learning to regulate one's nervous system and navigate important things like consent. That's a key reason why people, and many rights, and maybe you're not consciously aware of this, why they go out to dance on dance floors. And again, I rave sober. I'm a completely sober. I'm a sober presence and have for 11 years. And you'll learn is to learn to navigate like people's body language, people's body language in relation to consent. This is a extremely important part of learning to navigate social dynamics, especially if you're a man and you're interacting with a woman. And of course, it can flip around, but a lot of men have a profoundly disconnected relation with these important social cues. Whether we're talking about, respecting someone's boundaries and their space or their consent, or just honoring, that people are experiencing stress in different ways, and we're out here in the real world trying to learn to regulate ourselves, learning to express ourselves, learning to, just be human beings and not feel shamed or judged about it. So, yeah. A lot of important things. A lot of important things to consider. Audio Slave. Beautiful. Audio Slave rocks. Yeah. Eiffel 65. All right, all right. Can check out my playlist for some nice house music. Sweet. I hear Soundgarden. Yeah, Chris Cornell. I think I said that right. Super dope musician, honestly. Great guy. Avenged Sevenfold So Far Away. I know how to be I'm not a cover artist, and nor do I desire to play covers, even if I do know covers, because I don't want to get copyrighted infringed. This is a live stream. I appreciate all those bands though. I love Chris Cornell. And I love Avenged Sevenfold. $11.49. Ah, yes. Choices. Never did drugs before. Dabble with pod. In the past, that's it. Nice. I mean, strangely enough, that's a good thing, but it also can be, I would say, a slippery slope to, manifesting almost like an inability to really understand or really maybe access what people who desire to engage in compounds desire to access. But I don't know. I think in modern 2026, as a full grown adult, I commend people highly that are just like, you know what? Never been attracted to drugs. Most people, if you can make it through adulthood and you're like, yeah, I don't do drugs, that's probably a beautiful green flag. You know, that's probably a green flag. Also, extension, alcohol. But that being said, as a teenager, as a young dude, as a 15 to 19-year-old who did indulge in compounds, you know, recreational party substances here and there, lots of weed, lots of nicotine, alcohol here and there. I'm not really a fan of alcohol. But I'm telling you, is as a man that actually went through a phase of integrating these compounds, understanding intimately, you know, I remember even as like a 12, 13-year-old thinking about, you know, what are drugs? Do I want to do drugs? Like, what's the point of doing drugs? And I remember getting to this conclusion where I want to experiment and experience substances out of pure experimentation, out of pure curiosity. You know, I told myself I'm going to engage in using drugs, start with marijuana, obviously, just like marijuana a little bit here, for no reason in particular. Like, no reason, no one's telling me, use weed, it's this is that. I didn't care about what society or pressure is this or that. No, I was like, I'm going to do this for no reason other than pure curiosity. I'm going to see what happens, see how this resonates, how this fits me. And, you know, as a 19-year-old, many years later, I also made the same executive decision. You know what? I'm going to stop using any substance for the rest of my life for no other reason other than just pure curiosity. You know, I held an objective perspective. But what I'm saying, long story short, is I learned so much about the mind, so much about the brain. I remember as like a 15, 16-year-old, now I had many very like breakthrough experiences, but I came to this core realization where I was like, wow, you know, using things like MDMA and other compounds, I was like, wow, this is interesting. Like, this is how my brain feels like, full of neurochemicals. What an interesting experience. But then I realized after a couple of years, I was like, you know what? How can I achieve this? How exactly can I achieve this state of neurochemical activity without any substances whatsoever? And it's a very deep-seated thing where when you see the way your brain can operate, you know, on this neurochemically optimal state, it changes your perspective. You know, you see parts of yourself like, wow, like I learned more things about this. I shed light on very particular parts of my mind and my experience and my personality. And then, yeah, that's what I did was I realized after a few years, I was like, you know what? I'm going to exit all substances and allow myself to learn to optimize my brain without any compounds. And then, of course, fast forward, I'm 31, been sober for 11 years. Yeah, you know, I love my life, but I think strangely enough, there actually is a role for some experimentation. It's not to say you should dive in the deep end, obviously, you know, be responsible, be self-aware, but I think suppressing any urge to be like, okay, let's never use a compound in our life, probably not the move, but hey, I commend people that, you know, work that way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Only problem with drugs is they are expensive. I mean, that's a part of it, dude. That's definitely a truth that I saw with, you know, when I was like quitting nicotine, quitting marijuana, I was like I can't afford this. Like as a, you know, 16, 17-year-old, I was like I cannot afford this. And even the simplest route, I was like how much money will I save and be able to expend or use these expenses on martial art, you know, classes and guitars. That was like powerful logic. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to quit all these things in part so I can save my money and actually invest in myself in intelligent ways, which was a huge part of it. So let's experiment. So I go like that, play the acoustic, be like, all right, that was sick. That sounded chill. Let's keep this in a particular place. So let's put this right here. This has been my exploration lately. Well, this last day, once I got this beautiful Ibanez. You can learn if they have a lot of simple morals and respect. That applies to a lot of things, George. I agree. But if you're speaking about like people engaging or choosing engaging compounds, that's exactly it. That's actually extremely intelligent comment. It really does come down to like morals, integrity. If you have morals, integrity, and self-awareness, and like an awareness of morals, when you engage in something like a compound or an illicit drug per se, and you go in those waters, you navigate that. If you have a strong morality, then yeah, it's actually you can easily differentiate. Being, what is this something that's serving me, or is healthy, or is an integral, or etc. Mm-hmm. I love how it's like the fretboard is slightly different, different here. I believe they the belief in God's quite literally. They lack a belief in God. Yeah, sure. Yeah, much love. DNA mindset matters. Cool name. Blessed from Canada. Blessings from BC. Let's change those a little bit. Yeah, no, I mean, the caveat, I agree, and I know what you mean. I think on the deeper context of a connection to spirit, to source, we can define that as God, etc., etc. Like the God as the like capital G God, not like the Christian definition. But the caveat I want to really just express is on this channel, I really want to promote, just exploring open minded, creative related concepts, talking about music, etc., etc. But I really try to stray away from people sort of focusing on Christian or religious, more so, not even Christian, religious ideology, political ideology. This is not the channel for that. I just like to make that evidently clear. Not saying that was necessarily the direction you're going, but just food for thought. Like if people desire to, for those of you watching, they're just like, I want to express some religious beliefs, and that's okay. Like I'm not going to judge you for that, but I think it's like there's channels for that, and this is not the one. This is not a religious, political ideology type channel. That's just the way. Yeah, bruv, we're navigating these waters. We're experimenting these Ibanez waters. Still trying to find the optimal way to master the volume with this baby. Often I'm just trying to treat this guitar as like an acoustic type. Listen to Ashay, he's a very skilled musician. Why, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just speaking my truth. Take it with a grain of salt, honor your truth. Especially when a close family member becomes that person. It's so uncomfortable to deal with. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a disease that I study about dealing with these things. Yeah. No matter what you say, it doesn't mean anything to us. It's better to explain. Yeah. I have to say, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Cove, I'll say Evelyn. Interesting name. But I have an idea from the context if you guys are referring to, I would say, one's relationship with compounds. Now, we could go really deep on this. Because, again, I'm a dude that's sober for 11 years. I deeply believe in understanding how to study the mind, the neurochemistry. So whether you choose to indulge in compounds or not, yes, you're 1000% right, as many maybe genuinely have emphasized. Addiction is a massive issue. Like, we're not, you can talk about drugs, this, that, the other, but addiction, a dopamine, dopaminergic addiction, or addiction as a whole, that's obviously a crisis. That's a modern crisis. That's not new per se, but um, it takes a deeper level of awareness. And I like to return to people like, if you guys are familiar with Gabor Mate, he's actually from the city that I'm in. Well, not in my city, but the neighboring city, Vancouver, right? And Gabor Mate, his core thesis, his like life's work, is about addiction. And he actually goes down to like downtown East Side, which is the most tumultuous, horrendous part of British Columbia, where there's addicts and people that are homeless of all different sorts of backgrounds. And long story short, Gabor Mate speaks extremely openly. He's written many books. He's a lifelong speaker about how addiction is not necessarily about the drug. It's not about the addiction itself. No, it's about um, the underlying wound that we're not addressing. Like, it's about the thing that we are, like the wound, the trauma, as it is, the trauma that we're not addressing, that we're not honoring. The addiction, the drug, or whatever it is a means of trying to fulfill this need. It's trying to, mask the wound. It's like we're trying to fill in this void. But it's not the drug you're addicted to. You're addicted to the shame or whatever negative emotions are being triggered from this wound or this trauma not being, brought to the surface, not being honored, not being understood. So in many rights, if people are trying to get to the root of why they're, addicted, and why they're, just really dealing and struggling with these complex arrays of things like addiction. Because obviously these illicit compounds to extremes are horrendous. We don't have to think about that very hard. We don't have to argue about how some of these substances are probably things that this earth, humans should not have access to. That's inevitable. But when you're really trying to study the nature of the mind, what drives people to, go down these addictive loops and ruin their lives, right? It comes down to understanding trauma, unresolved trauma. People that are human beings just like you or me, right? That at one point in their life went through a childhood or a lifelong endeavor with very difficult things that somehow became unresolved. They had these traumas, these wounds that perpetuated and perpetuated, and the addiction itself often is not necessarily the. It's not like they're addicted to this drug per se. It's they're addicted to escaping, running away, and trying to, fill this need, trying to address this horrendous wound that they can't consciously comprehend. And it's a deeply woven thing. So it's almost like, we can look at it in many different ways, and you can blame the drug, you can blame the person's choice. Absolutely, sure. But there's an underlying piece of this that is more, people need to have space held. They need to understand themselves and their wounds. These are just human beings. These are young adults or children that, had their needs completely neglected, and then they had these, traumas unresolved, and then they just unraveled, right? Anyways, that's a very intense graphic nature, but yeah. Like the stream, great message. Thank you. It's a thing I like to speak about many different aspects of the mind and the psyche, but naturally, Gabor Mate, I really respect and honor the dude. And as he's a Vancouver local, like, he really cares. Like, this is a man that really genuinely cares. He's devoted his life. He was a family therapist for a long time. He was actually a doctor, a family doctor, and he changed his focus to learning to heal and study addiction. And he would literally devote many years of his life going to the downtown East Side, which again, this is like the part of Vancouver, BC, where there is the most unhealed, most troubled addicts and homeless people, and he would spend time with these people. He would listen to their stories. He'd hold space for them and offer them resources. And yeah, he came to some very powerful conclusions that he shares with the world constantly. Right? He's like coming to talk about his thesis of what addiction actually is and what's the roots of this, and what maybe people that are addicts or homeless people really need beyond just like thinking, okay, we can give them, they think they need money, they think they need resource, they think they need stability, they need all those things. But at the deepest sense of it, as Gabor Mate would often express, they need space to be held, to be listened, to be validated. They just need someone to listen. Like what Gabor Mate would do often is just like, is just listen, you know? You just respect these people, treat them as human beings. Anyways, I've kind of I've missed. Let's go back to the comments section. Thank you, thank you. I think it's more of a matter of seeking connection with the divine. You're correct there, George. You're right on the money, my bro. It is often almost always that. If you pay me, might play songs. I can't even make money, bro. You think I make money here? I'm doing this pro bono, baby. I don't make money here. I don't know. Probably I'll get monetized in about 3 weeks. Yeah. I'll get monetized in about 3 weeks. So if you want to donate me, just save your dollar bills when I get monetized. But no, I mean, I don't know. I play guitar for everyone. Always. For hours. I have for months. How you rave is how you rave. As long as you do it safe, we chill. Sure, man. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's as simple as that, but in some regards, yeah, bro. I wouldn't say it's how you rave is how you rave. It's because yeah, no, that's actually not correct at all. But people are allowed to be and show up in the phase of their journey, however, as exactly as they are. People are and should feel safe to show up exactly as they are. So if they choose to engage in alcohol or intoxicants, you know, that's the phase of their journey. They're trying to integrate this, that, the other. That's what helps them feel comfortable. Sure. You know, just as for a fellow like myself, I choose and have for many years to do so sober, but also because I'm a dancer. You know, I'm a performer actually. I do many different realms. I have a very professional role in the dance community, and I feel like it's like the more I go deeper in that, I understand how important it is to be sober. I understand how profound it is to have a sober presence in those dance communities. And yeah, it's a deeply woven rabbit hole, but I don't judge people. I meet tons of extraordinary human beings that choose to indulge in, you know, drugs, alcohol, whatever, right? I don't sit there and judge them because that's literally me. It was me when I was younger, right? This is a person that's just a person. We're figuring this baby out. We're getting the silky ominous flow in the bag. It's hard to beat this though. This toned with amplified beauty, right? So much to love on the acoustic. So Evelyn, you bored too. Nice. I love dance and have a dance background, performing arts, visuals, but a master of nothing. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but hey, we all have our different journeys, yeah. Let's introduce some of this beautiful sound. Nice. When I dance, I just channel my inner Maynard. Nice. No wrong way to dance, my guy. I say this all the time. I mean, I like the styles that I like. I make many different styles. Like I dance, you know, with partners, and I meet women and dance all the time with different styles. But yeah, you know, once you get deeper in the flow of dance and you know, understand it more intimately, is like you realize there's no wrong move, right? There isn't a single wrong move. And actually that's the same, weirdly enough. It's a similar thing with music. once you like see the deeper context of it, there is no wrong, right? There is no wrong note. There's no wrong way to integrate a note, as in with the dance movement. If you know how to dance, you understand rhythm and musicality, it's like you can make everything and anything work. Reggae is underappreciated. I suppose, I don't know. I like reggae. I can enjoy it. I don't say it's not very high on my list. I can definitely appreciate it. I can appreciate lots of music, but reggae, I don't know. It doesn't seem to it just doesn't hit. I love when people really resonate with reggae. Met people that, they're like into it. They're like, into the whole culture and the energy of it. And yeah, I respect that. Pre-recorded. I don't think this is, bro. I think you're confused. Nothing even remotely pre-recorded. Someone say pot. That's my safe word. I got you, bro. You're safe. Pot. That connection can be strengthened by fostering respect for creation. You've got a beautiful perspective, George. I agree. I agree with like 99.99%, if not all of what you said. Let's master that a bit. Something in life is they just don't want to see, but if the result was living, you wouldn't have let this be. Damn. All right. That's nice. Don't drink either, but I do like it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. The thing is, I party sober, like dead sober, always. And it's been like that for a long time. But every once in a while, if I want to have a beer, and I've never had an issue with alcohol, I'll just like, every few weeks, maybe I'll have a beer. Maybe every weeks I'll have a shot of gin or something if I'm at home, like chilling at home, playing guitar or something. That happens every once in a while. And I've honestly only recently done it because I'm just kind of like, I'm like, you know what? I'm curious to see, almost like I'm reintegrating the application of something like alcohol. But yeah, I've never really seen an attraction, never felt an attraction to it. Gave the family was ravaged by drugs and Chris to learn by their mistake. That's beautiful, Cookie. Well then, or cooking. I don't know why Cookie. Cooking, yeah. That's rad. I think that's a wise decision. If you, yeah, you know yourself, you know your genetics. And you're really not missing a whole lot. Like if naturally psychedelics are powerful and have a beautiful role, in altering states, and it's good to be open to learning to honor the mind and the neurochemistry. But yeah, I don't think illicit substances are something that is like a necessity. It's not like everyone should desire to figure out what's the feeling. It's not that great, I would say, objectively. It's not bad, but of course, like again, it's this is the thing. If you choose to walk the path of being like, let's experiment or not, right? It's all about how well or fluently can you express yourself. Like, are you living an abundant, radically expressive, happy, fulfilled life? If that's the case, then of course you don't need to sit there and justify using substances or not. Not saying substances will change that for the better or for the worse, but I think I'm a strong advocate of not judging people and not trying to almost like, yeah, judge people's happiness. Like if a person's happy, right? If you find a person who's just like, man, I'm happy uh, crocheting for 5 hours or something, or happy, they're happy safe spaces, walking in a forest doing nothing, which is magical always. But if a person's happy doing something that you don't necessarily align with, you're like, I don't get why that person loves this or that, what that makes them happy, or why this person makes them happy. I think people shouldn't be so quick to try to judge or be like, oh, but that person's right or wrong. No, just be like, okay, if that actually makes them happy, that actually heals them, makes them feel, warmth, and they enjoy things in life. I think people should just be happy for other people enjoying things in life. Really, it's like people are quick to judge and assume and think they know better about people and happiness, but a lot of people, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they think they know. It sounds like you're on the right track, Cooking. It sounds like you are. Yeah. because like this is a deep rabbit hole, right? A lot of what you guys are speaking of is a beautiful, beautiful deep rabbit hole. But I'll be perfectly honest, like for a guy like myself, I choose to be sober. I choose to be like present and coherent, right? But the reality of it is, I also get high off of energy. I get high off of dancing. I get high off of songwriting. I do various dimensions of strength training parallels. I get high off of, in some regard, healthy dopamine from growing a YouTube, from living my most abundant, expressive life. Like these are things I get high off of, right? And yeah, I think it's important to just be conscious of what the end goal is. Not to be looking at it like, okay, but this person is, I don't know, right or wrong for desiring to achieve some sort of expression or happiness or, integrate themselves. Because I think, we've had these conversations many times on the stream, right, with other members. Medicines, things like maybe changa or types of DMT or psychedelia, really. Psychedelics, I'm a strong advocate. Like, I'm a massive advocate of psychedelics. We could have an argument being like, oh no, but sobriety is the key. It's genuine integrated spirituality, which is correct. I personally, again, I often get higher on dancing, off energy, of connecting, of meeting extraordinary, beautiful human beings. I also do the same through music, through various things, right? I get higher than most people do on drugs. Like, that's just a fact. It's a complete fact. Some people maybe not. I don't know what they do, but the reality is, what I'm saying is, some people have the innate ability to fortunately achieve and unlock a heightened, optimized, regulated, integrated state of living the human experience. Now, not everybody has that. Some people are profoundly disconnected from that. And, why should we act like they don't deserve happiness too, or they don't deserve to try to go on a path to find some sort of truth? Because they do deserve that, right? So it's a very nuanced thing. But I think the key has always been, like, even if you're a person on a path to, you know, unravel all these threads and find some sort of deeper happiness, it is about trying to learn to be happy with less, to learn to be high on your own supply, so to speak, to be able to be sober and be coherent and present and connect to deeper things, and let this be the forefront of your intention. But obviously, in a modern 2026 context, in this world, a lot of us are deeply programmed. We don't have this convenience. We don't have this thing that we all deserve. We all deserve to feel like a deep source of bliss, of happiness, of safety, of expression, of etc., etc. But again, we do not live in a perfect world. A lot of us, we are dealing with complex, very malicious programming. So let's be real here. It's like, not everyone has the convenience to be like, okay, but I live in a sober reality and this is the way it is and this is optimal. It's like, no, a lot of us, the end goal may be to be happy with who you are and being sober. And I personally love this space, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, we're all going to achieve the same place from the same origination. You're not imposing limitations. Yeah. I see. Meds or drugs, unfortunately prescribed. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. I mean, that's medications are drugs. Like, if you're taking, not gonna say that's not like a, if it serves a purpose, if it really helps you, if you are self-aware of the way this is impacting you, then I'm sure it's a powerful tool. But yeah, that's a nuanced thing. Hmm. Person who suffered greatly in the name of projecting negativity, not projecting negativity. Hmm. Sure. That's a powerful philosophical. That's a powerful philosophical breakdown, George, or Georgima Tansky. Powerful philosophical breakdown. Again, I think there's many holes, many flaws in a lot of the way a lot of people approach things like Christianity. I think you expressed it in a very interesting, open-hearted way. Like, on a moral level, like on a moral philosophical way, or on a moral philosophical context, we can see that yes, there are some aspects to what exactly you just expressed about, Christ, entity, and energy as a person, suffered greatly in the name of projecting. Like, if we say that this person existed, a lot of people believe he did, and yes, he faced a lot of like intense resistance in the sake of a time that was probably needing his presence. And I don't know, again, I really want to strongly put my foot down. I do not want to dive down these rabbit holes of talking about religion, Christianity, Jesus. That's Not because, again, we can talk about these things. I'm open to have these conversations all day long in real life. But I do not want to promote these things. I don't want to invite people to think that this is a religious channel and we're going to pull these threads about religious ideologies and philosophies, because that's just not what I want this channel to be full of. So I'm going to really put my foot down and be like, hey, like, let's try not to pull those religious ideology threads. Because, again, I'll do that all day long in person, but this is a YouTube channel that I really feel I want to create a strong intention for. And again, slippery slope. It's a triggered thing. These are loaded words. You talk about God and Jesus and whatever. People have a billion different interpretations and different perspectives and ideologies that they just are triggered to throw into the plate. And I don't want to go on that ride. I appreciate your perspective, though, Georgia Ma. Yeah, I think that's. And then we can at some point transition into the others. Oh, don't lock on my guitar. See how we can fit this. Ooh. Trying to find the right pickup for this still, but I like that. I like that. Boxers or briefs? I mean, boxers, bro. I don't know. Boxers with, what's the word? Electromagnetic, protection. That's what I'm going for. I cooked for homeless people. Do I deserve worship? No. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, that being said, depending on your intention, depending on your moral, what's the word? Yeah, your moral sort of conception of why you actually went and did that, maybe you do deserve a bit of praise. Maybe people should be like, hey, you know what? That's beautiful. But yeah, depending on your intention and your conception of why exactly you did that, you could argue saying that that was out of a pure heart. If it wasn't, not saying you, but if a person did the same thing without a pure intention, then we could be like, wow, that person does not deserve anything. But I don't know. That's a slippery slope, my guy. Like, this is, again, I'm gonna put down the fist or the hammer, the gaffle, and be like, whap. Like, let's not even. I don't want to touch Jesus type ideologies or worship this, that, Jesus, Christ, that, this, religion with a 10-foot pole. Let's just not do that. Like, again, I respect people's unique perspectives. I respect people wanting to express and connect those dots, but these are things that are loaded in trigger words. These are loaded as fuck. What people will say about all these different weird stringed together concepts about all these things of Christian and religious, more so, ideologies and political ideologies. These are trigger words. These are loaded. These are not comprehensive, very, let's say, free form conceptualizations. Like, people will take these a million different ways, and it's a way of like fragmenting truth further. Let's find some chords that are silky. Maybe a F major 7. Still trying to navigate these float roach bridges. He's a doctor specializing in addiction now. Who specializes? He's a doctor who specializes in addiction now. You're talking about Gabor Mate, I believe? Yeah, I was speaking about Gabor Mate earlier, if that's what I heard, yeah. Yeah, and yes, Gabor Mate is a doctor. He was a family pediatrician, from what I recall. Not a pediatrician, yeah, he was a family doctor. And like a PhD doctor who focuses energy into becoming I think a psychiatrist or like a specializing in addiction. Yeah. I'm confused why you always share that, Joe. I'm starting to feel like you might not be the one, bro. You might not be the guy. You hear me, Joe? You might not be the guy for this job. Are you the guy? You know, I feel so inclined to share about your bowel movements. I don't know, bro. Not sure if you're for this place. Trauma. I was just wanting to create things to counteract trauma in people's lives. Trauma. I just want to create things. Counteract trauma in people's lives. Yeah, yeah. Would you say it's possible to attend a church and pray in order to deal with an issue like addiction or anger, similar things, like receive help, like as in a miracle? Wow. Okay, we're going to speak objectively, but after this, George, I'm really going to put the foot down right now, man. I love your perspective, but it seems you're, for some reason, continuously trying to push like Christian agenda ideals. Nothing wrong with that. Again, we could philosophically extract and take perspective in a psychological place from what you're saying, but this is not the place to try to like, reinforce it. It's almost like you're on an unconscious level. You're trying to like, unpackage your Christian belief system, which is cool, brother. I've had conversations all day long with people I respect heavily that are Christians that, deeply believe in these things. But we're not here to like unpackage our Christian values and try to project that on other people. Not the channel, not the place. Find a Christian channel. Do not do that. But would you say it's possible to attend a church? I'll give you the very honest, discerning perspective. Yes and no. So, yes and no. Yes, if you have a community that holds space for you, that is healthy, that is integrated, has good values, it's likely, it's possible, bro. Of course, brother. It's just like any community that holds space for you in a healthy, integral way. Absolutely possible. But if we're talking about what you're trying to define as a church, it could go either way very easily. I don't know. Subjective. And yeah, talking about addiction, anger, like these are things I don't think a church necessarily is the right place to go. I don't know. I don't know the entirety of all churches, but again, it depends on the actual subjective place. And again, if you're trying to talk about receive help, in like as a miracle, another loaded word, a word that means very little unless you contextualize it, right? And even further, I believe in miraculous things. I believe in anomalies. I believe in quantum anomalies. I believe in things that are so much more expansive and vast, but I don't like when people try to, again, because it's not about what you're saying. I get what you're saying, brother. I get it. I can contextualize everything you're saying to some degree. Most people, if they're on the stream and they're listening to what you're saying, they can't. They can't if they try. They might hear what you're trying to define as, this Christ Christian church community or a miracle, and they'll be so convoluted, they'll be so lost and confused with the wording that you're choosing to introduce. And again, I get you, brother. Like, you're not, again, if we're going to define a miracle as something that is an anomaly, that is a beyond the mind, beyond the human experience, I talk about these things all the time, brother. I love metaphysical philosophy. I believe in things. I believe in a spirit. I believe in source. I believe in things that are way beyond the mind. So if we're going to confide in this, sure. But I'll be honest, this is a nuanced thing, because this is the thing. I'll give you a very honest, transparent answer. Yes, some of the things that you could contextualize as a healthy community to treat someone that has anger addiction and a thing that exists outside of the human mind, we call this a miracle. I would not call it that. But brother, you have to realize there are many things that are deeply woven in the process of what this person probably needs that 1000% is going to step outside of the limiting, confining context of what a quintessential, churchgoer, miracle desiring person would try to conceptualize. Basically, there are things that are more important and more pivotal to this person's healing, to this person's growth and expansion, in my experience, that I believe are much more deeply woven and interwoven with this process. They don't need just a community of a church of this or that, or they don't need just a belief of this miraculous this. No, no, no. They probably need a radical intervention of understanding their neurochemical facilities, their nervous system. They need to jump outside of the models of what Christianity likes to linearly and one-dimensionally define as things, and they need to look at the larger picture. And there's many larger pictures that I think this person hypothetically may need to see. So yeah, in a brief context, sure, there's value in that if it subjectively applies. But in many cases, I have to say, subjectively, it probably won't apply. That, definition when you're saying of a community that's based on church or whatever and a miracle, that could go either way very fast. That could be contextually convoluted very fast. And even further, if a person's trying to contextually define that and sit in that model of like, okay, but we're going to confide in this one dimensional piece of it, they're probably missing a much deeper picture of what they actually need in their life. And the paradox is in the beliefs that, again, you're kind of trying to address, they're probably losing more of the larger picture. They're limiting themselves and creating more limiting beliefs than they should be creating, if that makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. A beautiful thought. I love thinking about these things, but I really don't think this is the place to try to, create these discussions. I do agree I was on my mom's only child and comfortable in my own space. When I get monetized, pretty good song title. I mean, maybe. Do you reckon that would be more likely to happen if you put in the work? Yeah. Get it? Yeah, I don't know. Let's be real here. I don't think anyone should ever try to fixate on monetization. Like, I'll be real here. It's like, think big, have big goals, aim for the stars. If you want to be a full-time YouTuber like myself, like, let's go. Like, do it up. I believe in you. But monetization should never be the goal. Like, you should, it's just, but I get you. That people emphasize psychiatry and medicine, individuals who aren't even doctors. Probably, man. I mean, probably. That's a whole nother rabbit hole I won't go down. But yes, pharmacology, we get it. There's a lot of strong arguments that the pharmaceutical industry and pharmacology is not addressing the actual underlying condition that is causing the issue. They're addressing symptoms. Like, that's probably the simplest way I could address this. A lot of pharmacology is addressing the symptoms. They're not addressing the actual underlying thing that will actually allow a person to heal and revitalize themselves. It's a bizarre world we live in, but hey, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Pharmacology, pharmaceutical industries are pouring in cash, and they're depending on you being sick. That's all we got to say about that. Ooh. I love how far these little notes go on this baby. Silky. Just a silky guitar. I'm so sketched out about the way that guitar is sitting on there. Just doesn't doesn't feel like that's how it's nice. Who aren't inclined towards the stuff? Yeah. Nice. I don't agree with a lot of things Gabor Mate says. Yeah. I don't think you have to agree with everything Gabor Mate says. He's a flawed human being, that is an older man. He's an older fellow now, right? I think he's just trying to figure out. I don't know. He's a flawed human being. Let's be real. I don't think he's the perfect example of all of humanity, but he's got some powerful points that I think he's done a beautiful job of sharing. I should hit you up about that because of that. I forgot one of the reasons Dr. Matei had controversy surrounding some ways what he said. I think he didn't he have like I think it was like he had a gambling no a shopping addiction and a controversy about what was it maybe anger or something. He had anger as a young man or something. He had a I think he had some little things that were true. He's a human being. I don't know. Yeah, the hat raises some red flags. Good luck. Thank you, brother. You raise some red flags right back at you, brother. Let's hope. Let's hope your red flags, deter from whatever red flags this hat. I'll take this hat off. I'll take this hat off, and I guess these red flags will disappear. But I gotta know where your red flags will go, my bro. What do you think about ayahuasca? I've spoken about this quite a few times. I think DMT as a whole is magic. I've never done ayahuasca. I'm attracted to it. I'm open to it. I think if I'm going to make this very simple, because I talked about this for like an hour yesterday, I think a lot of ayahuasca communities, we're in a very unique time where there is a deep necessity for a revival of the shamanic context of medicine communities of people to honor and revere medicines that not even about the medicines themselves, it's about the tribal context, reviving the sacred, the connection to these things. That could involve things like ayahuasca, but even further, the weird part about it is we also seem to experience a lot of corruption. Humans abuse power dynamics that are involved in these communities. It's like a tale as old as time. And I think that's an underlying thing that is really important to realize is as much as there's ayahuasca and that is a healing modality that's powerful, that's a part of powerful, beautiful things, it's also something that requires integrity. It requires awareness. It requires a deeply woven thing that I think is a lot. Let me see what you need to know. Sure. I don't know. I mean, so from the context of what we've had, Georgima, I've said a few things, and let's talk, brother. I'm assuming yeah. Let's talk, but we've only had this is a stream. We're limited. You're right, brother. But I think I'm being very clear, and I hope you can honor this because I think you're someone that is an addition to this community. You seem to have a beautiful perspective. I'll say that for sure. But I really, again, this is not for the sake of me. You realize that half of what I've said, Georgium, is more of a caveat. Not about me. This isn't about you and me. This is my YouTube stream. This is my business. This is my community. I'm trying to actually create a boundary. I'm not trying to be like, hey, brother, let's not talk about this, or hey, brother, like, let's put a lens. No, I'm trying to actually set a boundary with you here about the way that you're trying to introduce Christian values, which is okay. Trust me, brother. I have friends, I meet people in the real world and film sets all over the place where I have these conversations. I would be happy to hear your perspective, hear anyone's perspective. But I'm telling you, this is a live stream. You're limited in your ability to type in things. I'm a little less limited. I can sit here and talk. You can hear my voice. You can hear my my tonality, right? But what I'm simply saying is a lot of what I've been trying to communicate to you and to anyone listening is I'm going to put a foot down on people trying to articulate or emulate Christian or even just religious values as a whole or political beliefs and values. Not because, again, I'm sitting here and being like, hey, let's filter and suppress. No, because this is a music channel, brothers and sisters. It's a music channel. It can revolve around creative expression. We can talk about psychedelia in an open, integral context. But again, I don't think Christianity, religious, political beliefs, these do not have a place here. Not because, again, I actually think everything I've said, I've articulated very beautifully. And it's honestly just affirmed my belief is the things that you were just trying to express. These aren't foreign concepts to me. You'd be speaking about a person experiencing addiction, anger, in relation to, say, a community, like you're saying a church, for example, and you're talking about miracles extending off of that, a person confiding these. These are loaded terms. These are conventional terms that a lot of people, not maybe myself, but people in this community that may desire to listen to music, hear about creativity. They want to participate in this community. I don't want people to sort of fall into that fallacy, being like, hey, let's talk about all these loaded, empty context words, contextualized words. And we talk about God, we say Jesus, we say church, we say Christianity. These are loaded words, brother. You can argue it all day long. You probably wouldn't, because you have a little bit of an open mind. But these are not things that you or I or all my viewers are going to perceive the same way. These are ideologies that are loaded, thousands of years of misconception and corruption. So again, I'm just going to put the foot down and be like, if you desire to, just share your truth, brother. I'm not going to say what you're saying is incorrect at all. Like, you seem to have a very grounded and intelligent perspective. But if you truly desire to do justice to your values and beliefs about, Christian church, miracles of sorts, by all means, brother, but do so on another stream where it is permitted to these Christian ideologies or religious ideologies. They exist. These streams exist. This is not what this stream is for. I want this to be a safe space for people who are here to just listen and talk about music, about things that relate to this domain. This is a boundary. This is me setting a very clear boundary. I hope that makes sense. And again, I'm a new streamer, 5 months in, or 5 months streaming, 8 months creating this channel. I am navigating these waters, and I think I desire to do this full time. I desire to grow this community to a large place, right? And I really feel confident about it. And when I'm in this place where I'm navigating thousands upon 10 or hundreds of thousands of people, this is where these exact core beliefs and boundaries I'm trying to express are going to be really important. When there's hundreds of thousands of people in here, I don't want people to go off on a billion tangents and, using misconcepted ideologies and assuming that this is the place. This is a place for us to share, again, like kindred values, dimensions related to music, expression, creativity, and all of those things woven into that. That's the boundary that I'm setting. Anyways, what the heck? Love your hat. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Kathleen. Yes, we're meant to serve each other and praise yourself. And so it is for you first. I believe in that. I actually deeply, that's like an ancient tantric belief, is like the reason in a conventional, deeper sense of why it is very weird is to idolize or worship entities outside of yourself, because you yourself deserve to be worshipped on a very like rooted, grounded level. You yourself are sacred. And I believe this deeply. You and your romantic partner deserve to experience a level of sacred worship to each other through love, through open-heartedness. It's not something you should externalize. That's like a tantric belief that I believe. I agree with, that is. Brian wants you to be seen as an artist. I'm not sure who Brian is. I think you're referring, am I Brian? People sometimes mistake me or say my name wrong. Let's see that. Well, that's not what I meant to click. That's a long format video. 12:44. Grounds are good. Beautiful. Wow, looks like it's like snowing and wow, magic. I think I'm way behind on the comment. I'm just trying to go to the one homie that was referring. Interesting. But yeah, to Andrew Unaware, if you are still here, welcome, brother. And would you like to be seen as an artist? That depends on the context. Yeah, if you would like to collaborate or talk about collaboration or some sort of community lifting, let's talk, brother. Yeah. Teasing me, STF up. Yo, I think we got a guy. HHIC, you're the guy. Like, what's just like on Suits? You're that guy. And it's just like, no, not that guy. You're that guy. Who doesn't like, you don't like religious anomalies? Didn't say that, brother. Didn't say that. Did not. I feel like there's, one sec, sorry, I'm scrolling through my comments. Hello, hello. Yeah, I think there's a, where is it? I lost some people in the comments. That is, I'm scrolling through the comments trying to refresh. I think there's one homie that just wants to get booted out. Where is he? Where is the homie? I don't know. Eventually, this is not a thing I'm able to do. Oh, yes. Welcome, HHIC. Whatever. I'm going to give you 30 minutes, brother. You got 30 minutes. Congratulations. You got 30 minutes to think about, why you want to bring this weird, irrelevant monologue, to the conversation. But we'll see you in 30 minutes, brother. Thank you for being here. Meditation is hard for me, and I feel like I won't come back. You're not alone, I'm sure. You're not alone, I'm sure. So then, what is your favorite song by the Mountain Goats? Interesting. Interesting. Not familiar with that. It's actually a respectable stance. It protects the core purpose. Yeah. Yeah, it's not, again, this is, I want to be really clear, as I have, but I would love to just articulate this further. I'm not going to sit here and judge you for being like, oh, religious or political or religious beliefs. I'm not going to be like, hey, guys, that's like wrong, or I'm going to judge. No, no, no. In the real world, if you were sitting with me, I would happily have a mature, emotionally intelligent conversation about the philosophical realms or your beliefs. I would hear this out. But this is a channel, right? This is a YouTube channel. This is not the real world. This is a YouTube stream, right? This is a business, but also a community that I'm building. And again, as I said very clearly, when this channel is in a larger context, like in a couple months' time and whatever, when we blow up to wherever we go, it's really important to have healthy boundaries. To be like, hey, like, let's not get out of control. So yeah, it's, again, I wouldn't say religion, politics brings the vibration down. It doesn't raise it. If people can't have an intelligent, self-aware conversation, where they're aware of, almost like we could say integral, but we could also say just, they're not philosophically rooted. Like, they don't understand how to hold a healthy argument. And they're relating to that, and it's going to go on for a billion directions. That's not what we need here. We don't need to fill the comment sections with religious and political ideologies. Nice. Look like Heath Ledger back in the day. That's beautiful. I'm like the exact age, or I'm like a year or two older now than Heath Ledger when he passed. So it makes sense. I feel that's high praise. Thank you. High praise to embody a similar genetic as Heath Ledger. Yeah. Music. Can you read the poem Peep and Quiet by Pablo Neruda? Interesting. Interesting. I've never had that request. I'll look into it, brother. Yeah. I don't know those crowns. Huh. Bro, I'm scared. I saw some reels of creepy and scary things. I'm scared of the ghosts. It's raining outside. Wow. Was it AI stuff? Beast? Mortem? Not AI. Thumbs down to AI to the algorithm. Fuck AI. Hashtag fuck AI. Yeah. Do you know the genre shoegaze? I'm going backwards in comments. I do know shoegaze. I love shoegaze. I'm trying to slap harmonics. I got my guitar out pretty good. Pretty cool. That's beautiful cooking. Slap harmonics rocks. Like, it's a beauty. It's a beautiful thing. I'm dealing with grief over my child. It's been over a year. I'm still hurting every day. Nothing certain seems to help really. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that moon stars. I mean, straight, I think, yeah. Do. Conception of the ideal, blah, blah, blah. Good man. To do. Peace. Yeah, I'm going backwards in the comments. Basically, I think I'm just about caught up in the comments, but let's see. Do I know the difference between this and this? That I do. Yeah. Nice. Thanks, Saskatch, or whatever your name is, bruv. You've made it. Oh, yeah, there we go. 30 minutes. Yeah, I didn't want to ban you for 24 hours, but there. Yeah, 30 minutes. Got 30 minutes to, question your life. Question your life and ask why you decided to say some irrelevant nonsense into my comment section. Yeah. Water. Yeah, this means I love you, as I understand. Like, this means I love you. And that means rock and roll, the sign of the horns. So it's just like rock out. Yeah. I sing. I do sometimes sing, but not very quintessentially. I don't perform much singing. It's like a very sacred thing to me. Yeah. Challenge my views. Whoa, what does that mean? I have no idea what that means. Challenge my views. Do you like math rock and indie rock, modern light rock, and any kind of genre? I love all those genres. Yeah, I must say I love all those genres. Beast. If you mean challenge my views, like my perceptions, absolutely, bro. That's a great. It's a great belief to stand behind. Got to challenge your beliefs and challenge your views. I have no idea how to play. Yeah, the year of the cat. Never heard of this. I think we need ourselves one of these babies. I'm playing my Yamaha right here. Yeah. You have to put your thumb up for I love you. Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, that either way, I guess that's more rock out, but yeah. I think most people, like, if you do it palm out like this, that is still the semblance of I love you. Like, it's not really like that, doesn't really mean the same as that typically. But I guess that's probably, I don't know. Yeah. 1 second. Let's flip off this thing. Cats in the Cradle. That's a nice song, but no idea how to perform that. Yeah, I think you're right about the thumb out thing. Gotta love those. Gotta love the balls, the crystal balls. No, the real is about how you know, how you have a spirit in the room and like a dorm hotel. Sounds like you need to have your algorithm refreshed, my dog. Yeah. Something about ghost. Okay. Yeah. That's crazy. Thank you, man. I love this hat too. It's one of those hats that I just love it more and more. Yeah? Interesting. That has deeper meaning than rock out. I could see that. I could believe that. Fireplace, it's propane. So it's pretty real, bro. It's as real as it gets. Like, it's propane, but there's real fire. It's real fire. Alright, let's flip it. Whew. Need more room in this studio here, it seems. have a feeling my guitar might be slightly off, but it's locked into the Floyd Rose. Yeah. Do more crystal ball. Nice. Me too, dog. Me too. Especially when I take this and then I just like shine it. So it's just perfect. Perfectly. Just a perspective shift that puts everything in perspective. It's even more enjoyable in the real world. It's like bouncing off of everything you see. It's just great. Just so great. Do more crystal ball and suggestions for a nice budget acoustic. Word. I'm thinking about getting an Ibanez because I have a really cheap Fender acoustic. Don't know the tone or the finish on the back of the neck. I don't like the tone finish. I mean, I'll be honest, I just recommend Yamaha. I recommend Yamaha always and Martin, but those aren't really budget friendly. So if you can afford it, Ibanez is like a decent budget friendly one. As an acoustic, I've never tried that, but I would say that's probably a strong option. Like I would say, I'm a massive fan of Yamaha. You know, I've owned, yeah, a couple Yamahas, mainly just like this one or the one there, and a small one or one when I was a kid. My electric guitar was Yamaha, like my very first, when I was like very young. But yeah, been used for centuries to ward off evil. Hell yeah, I can feel. I swear, it's like, I swear, yeah, that this crystal ball. It's I picked it up first because a friend gifted it to me. They're like, here, bro, you should just hold on to this for like a week or two and just give it back whenever you feel. And I just played with it forever, and I felt like I energetically, because the reason I, played with this prop is because I could feel it. It wasn't like I was doing all the illusions eventually, the isolations, but the idea is that it's like I could feel it. It was like a fun way of like feeling into like almost like a qigong type of flow. I gotta move this guitar that way. There we go. Lots of room. Am I a wizard? I'd never consider myself a wizard. Some people think I'm a sorcerer, but who knows? Let's go shreddy. Let's go shred for a little bit. Because now we can officially shred. Because we don't have noise constraints. That's not where we want to go. Is this where we want to go? Bass is a little bit messed. Maybe a little bit too much of the ROM. Let's turn that a little bit down. Guitar, metalcore. Okay, let's see. Yellow. Going to turn down the yellow. Is that what it is? Play around with different pickups because we got these. unbalanced with those pickups, but pretty clean. Play some creepy, scary thing. I don't do creepy, scary stuff, bro. Sometimes I do atonal key shifts, maybe that sounds kind of like cryptic, but I don't know. Ball's acting like a convex lens. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Turns everything upside down for the camera. It does do that. Yeah, it does. It literally, well, the way that's part of the fun is like when you experience this in the real world, right? It's flipping everything and distorting the perception while also, of course, doing an optical illusion. If I didn't have a guitar in my lap, it would be easier. But the optical illusion is clear, right? You're like playing around. If I say do this, or like something like that, or even like, this. It's like I can very successfully create weird movement that's work. Yeah, that's great. Whoa. All about mastering the audio, always. A lot of weird stuff as possible. Love the balls. They rock. They're fun. Gotta wear a helmet if you play Yamaha. Interesting. Yeah, Fushigi, eh? I haven't really played many 12 strings. I've played a couple, but first guitar was a Squire and a Stratocaster. That's nice. Squire's pretty cool from what I remember. Yeah. You do neck pickup. Do you use your neck? Do you use your neck pickup for soloing? My neck pickup. I'm not sure what you mean by neck pickup. Yeah. Use a ball as a slider. I'm sure I could, but I don't want to scratch that ball. The magic of that ball is it's perfect. Doesn't have a single scratch on it, so it completes the illusion. If I were to scratch that thing, I'm putting on steel string, that would be a shame. Still trying to find the way to use the whammy successfully. So when you seeing you shred, so used to seeing you play acoustic. Yeah, bro, shredding is so fun. It's so fun. Genuinely, it's like I'm using just Ableton, so I'm using Guitar Rig, Metalcore Studio Guitar Rig. Crystal Ball is a slide. That would be cool, but yeah, I don't want to shred. I don't want to destroy that ball. The trick is, that's the thing that I've got out of practice, is I want to get my harmonics, that is my squealies, where you do a harmonic as you're bending. I got to get those down. That's the one thing that I haven't been practicing. because I have it in my electric. These babies. It sounds like garbage if I don't get it down. Like it's very just sloppy, but it sounds so beautiful once you do. Yeah, Young Slash. That's damn. That's cool. You know, it gets really fun. Like that's the thing. Shredding is cool. It's fun by itself, but it gets really fun when you like basically songwrite, but also like shred two different things. Like I find I like to shred over a lot of electronic music and just do crazy stuff. Yeah, yeah. Have you graded? Graded. Probably grade 7. Nice. I don't know, Jonah. I don't know what you're talking about, dog. If you mean like grading that my guitar, I haven't played electric in a solid 4 months, but my real strength is my acoustic. Yeah. I don't know if my acoustic would grade the same as my electric, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to know. I'm trying to figure out, honestly, this whammy bar application. Yeah, I'm trying to get those squealies back again. Yeah, nice, wicked. Yeah, grades. That's the first time hearing that, but cool, man. I don't think that's how you become a pro, but I think that's how you probably measure some sort of thing. Yeah, nice. But yeah, I think I swear, well, naturally, I know for a fact my acoustic guitar skill set is definitely different than my electric. Especially considering I haven't played electric in literally 5 months because my guitar got busted and then I got a new one yesterday. But of course, yeah, my real specialty is acoustic. Gotta flip this baby up. That being said, we always, doesn't matter what our grade is, we can always learn. It's good to know there's a grading system, though. Good to know people like to compare each other on some intangible realm. Why for electric? Often people use hard plectrum, although the strings are lighter. You mean for like, you mean like a pick? I honestly, well, I know for electric, a lot of people, if you're doing like advanced sweep picking or something, that's where like using like a jazz pick usually is pretty potent, but I don't know. I like fingerstyle above any, really. Yeah, hat and guitar colors complement each other nicely. That they do. That was, yes. These are my favorite color palettes. So it kind of is sort of intentional. Wicked. Yeah. Remember to stay hydrated. I use jazz pick. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, jazz picks. I haven't used jazz picks in a while. I kind of just use this like one. Yeah. For lead, for lead, lighter, and for rhythm. 1 second. I'm using standard. Yeah, I'm in standard. All around standard. Jazz sucks at some point. I mean, maybe. I'm not like a jazz guitarist, but I like jazz chords. You know, I wouldn't say I play jazz any way, but I take influence from jazz because, you know, some fusion jazz is pretty dope. Need more Rosen for that effort. Let's get a little bit more DI. Yeah. What tuning are you using? Yeah. Have I tried DADGAD? I've tried it. I think, a long time ago. I think I was trying some sort of song, and I wasn't really a massive fan of DADGAD, but that could change, yeah. Do I know about yeah? I think that's a slang word, bro, for like something. I think it means cool or something. I have no idea, bro. I honestly, a lot of modern slang, I don't really. I like the words cooked. I like when things are cooked. I like some of the modern slang. A lot of it doesn't really make sense, I think, but I don't think it's meant to because I'm not a rapper. Flip into the other. Hell yeah, dude. This is... What are we doing here? Let's go. That's where we want to go. That's the only thing I'm missing hardcore in my repertoire. Do I use that dial underneath the Rosen to rotate it? The Rose the dial. Which dial, dude? You mean the pickup knob? Or do you mean the... Huh. I don't know. Not sure what you mean by that. What's going on, Santiago? Use the dial underneath the rosin to rotate it. This chaotic, bro. I love how chaotic it can get in this baby. I feel like I need a more longer thumbnail for these, like, harmonics here. Pat and Methley group. Nice. Glad I found your channel. Nice. Fair enough. Fair enough. Appreciate you cooking. Appreciate your perspective. I think I'll probably pop off probably soon. Coming up to like 2.5 hours. I think it's a good mark. I'm trying to limit my streams to like 2-ish hours. So I'm not wasting too much time, but also growing the channel viewership. I mean, it's an arduous goal, I feel like. It's a very arduous goal to like hit hit 4K watch hours. It's just like, man, it's a beautiful endeavor. Look under the rosin and there should be a dial. I don't know what you mean by the rosin, underneath the rosin. I need a second stand. Under the rosin. I see knobs, I see pickups, I see... I don't know, I'm not sure what you're talking about, yeah. Oh, the rosin for the bow. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I thought rosin, I completely thought something different. What about it? Yeah. What's the... Oh, you're saying to like to move it, to make it so it can grind it. Or something. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, no, I've never thought to use that. I don't think that would be convenient, truthfully. I mean, maybe that's part of the intention of it. Oh, that doesn't seem like it properly rotates. It's like, it's very tight. Maybe if I want to like change it to balance the rosin a bit. But it's pretty standard, like the way I've got it. Worth a shot, though. Worth a thought, yeah. So how do you determine your goal for live hours? I mean, at this point, I'll be honest, YouTube goals is kind of a intangible thing. Like, I can, wake up some days and be like, you know what, I could just focus long format videos and desire to grow, like, some really strong long format video and try to unlock flow with that, But simply put, yeah, I do live streams where if it's like I get, say 3 or 4K views or something, right? That's like my highest viewership I usually get. And as of late. And I do a stream for like 2 hours, maybe 2.5. That usually translates to about 50, 60 watch hours, right? So that's 50, 60 watch hours that I need, a total of 4,000 for ad revenue, 3,000 for super chats, but that's not really that useful. So I'm trying to get 4,000, right? And I think I've got something like 900 watch hours in a month. In this last like 30 days, I've got 900. So yeah, I think I'm at, my watch hours haven't updated, but I think I'm at about 1.7K. So I still need 1,300 more watch hours. Yeah. I wish I could make more money off streams. I think I get 2 cents per thousand live views, then I get donations. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think, isn't it like, I don't know how it works, but I think you get different, it depends on the type of content you make. Like, that's what I've heard. I don't know for sure, but people say, depending on like how your content's qualified by YouTube, your AdSense percentage goes up. But of course, you definitely make more off of actual like YouTube CR or their ad revenue system. So once you're at 4K watch hours, you get qualified for like a larger sum of AdSense revenue. And then if you get sponsored, like, not, I don't know the sponsorship you have, but if it's like you're sponsoring a brand, like an ad, and you put in like, in your video, you're like, hey, like, whatever you're sponsoring, you do like a little commercial or whatever. That makes you like an immediate lump sum, from any live stream. So that's, if someone sponsors your live stream, that's a high tier. Like you have a product like AG1 or freaking something. So that's like a goal, which you namely need to get once you're actually monetized. 4,000 watch hours, maybe you're a larger brand. It's weird. Again, it's all, I think if you genuinely want to make like real money, like full-time job and beyond, like multiple thousand per month at least, you gotta like actually be in the higher, you gotta be considered a brand. Like you gotta have your YouTube has to be like, in a 10K realm where your streams are receiving large views. It's like it's not even about that, I say. I think, again, I don't know for sure, but I think a lot of it has to do with being a professional brand. Like, a company sees you and YouTube sees your content and they're like, oh, this guy is like a professional. Like they really know that you draw in a confident engagement and etc. But I don't know. Again, I'm navigating those waters. We'll see in about 3 weeks' time. That's when I predict, if I keep on grinding streams, that I'll get to 4K watch hours, and then I'll see how much money I make. I don't know. I'm confident though, because this is the thing. It's a win-win in my eyes. The way I built this channel, if I'm like in 3 or 4 weeks, I unlock 4K watch hours. I'm getting AdSense revenue, and I have super chats and whatever, right? Um, and then I'm saying my like views have already boosted. I go from like 1K and now I've gone to about 2, 3K. Say I get to like 5K, maybe even 10K views. And then I'm getting AdSense revenue from 10K views from a fully monetized channel. That's like I don't know. I don't know the metrics. I'll see what I make, but it's like it's a goal that keeps on sort of like, keeps on expounding. But I don't know. Yeah. Got to reach out to brands. Yeah, I'm sure reaching out to brands is the key, but I'm sure if you're doing like you're consistently grinding out content you're making, they'll eventually start reaching out to you. Like I've heard of people that, like friends of mine, actually the friend of mine who he's like sponsored on like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, Facebook. Eventually, like once you hit a certain like fan base level and you're like flowing through and you're making high quality content, yeah, you just get brands reaching out to you and then you get to decide what you want to support. Keep doing old school things like playing gigs live in venues. You should be doing old school things. You'd think. Honestly, bro, well, this is the thing. I'm more interested in I'm a sound healer. I write music, I write originals and etc. and I vocalize and play guitar. I want to be doing venue shows where I'm doing sound journeys. I don't want to really be doing just like regular old school type gigs. Like that's not there's not only is there probably not a lot of money in that, that's also not the dynamic I want to go for. I want to basically do sound journeys, live performances in the future. But that's not really my aim. My aim is I'm going to be making a hell of a lot more money being a YouTuber, being a professional like guitar YouTuber than I would making live gigs. This is just 2026 for you. Like the metrics that I'm literally going to be making that I do the math for. If I grind out being a guitar YouTuber, I'll be making like triple of most people make on like a full-time job, at least a regular full-time job. I'm surprised if I won, sure. Yeah. If one said sure, I mean, there are 1K subs on your channel. You think? Maybe. That's actually, yeah, yes, that's actually a strong point. Hmm. Yeah, thank you for sure. That's actually a strong point, Floyd. Maybe I should just start approaching brands or sponsors and be like, hey, let's sponsor. Because I do have, now I technically, in the last like couple months, I definitely built a repertoire of something that I think they might want to represent. Rotate it one notch each use. And this keeps the rosin level. Ah, ah. I thought that might be what you're referring. So I rotate it. Okay. Yeah, I could see that because that's maybe why some of the edges are so fucked. Well, good point. Good point, shooting star. Yeah. Yeah. But if you want them earlier, a specific brand, reaching out to them is best. Right. For my channel, I won't just sponsor anything. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I would probably sponsor like not anything, but things that do step outside my brand a little bit. Like, if I had like a what's it called? Like a cyber VPN, which is like, it's basically like an internet VPN for keeping your network secure. That's like a massive, massive brand deal. If those guys were like open to be like, hey, let's sponsor you, that's not like exactly in my wheelhouse, but that would be like a massive brand deal. So I would be open to something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I got to do some research maybe. Yeah. All I know is that definitely I feel confident. What's made me somewhat happy is like I think I'm definitely in the wheelhouse where I have a good resume, so to speak. If I want to use that word, my YouTube resume is looking a little better. So if I want to, yeah, I think that's a good thought. Yeah. I'm really curious again. I know there's some sponsorships where, I mean, I think you got to have ad revenue. Like, I mean, maybe they pay you to get ad revenue on their sponsored link, but it's almost like you get extra ad revenue, I believe, if you are monetized. Maybe, or maybe it's just about views. I don't know. I guess I don't know shit. It may actually just be a separate entity where it's like your sponsored revenue is based on just your views alone, which would make sense. I don't know. I mean, the thing that I think the live stream views, live stream sponsor, and what I do and what I'm able to do is pretty solid. But I mean, I've always thought I want to have like a really established long format video, rhythm and niche developed before I'd assume they'd want to sponsor me. But of course, you can. I don't think that's the universal law. It's interesting though. I mean, I've had a couple people, literally two people so far, express interest in wanting to collaborate, and one has like 30,000 subscribers and one has like 13,000 or something subscribers. So I'm curious. I'm curious of like, yeah, just for the sake of like one, I guess he's just saying, I don't even think you want to collaborate. He was saying like, do you want to boost your channel, or not even boost your channel, but do you want to have a larger platform for your music, which was an interesting proposition. Yeah, let me see where the homie Andrew One Aware. Now let's keep that. So Andrew One Aware. Let's just check him out for. So homie's doing some stuff. He's got some releases. But I'm almost under the impression, like I don't know for a fact, he could just be wanting to connect and collaborate, lift other lower channels. But he also just wanting to charge people. But I don't know. It's a cool thought. Hello, what's good? What's going on, Sarah, Gabrielle? I'm curious what you mean by that. Oh, with the bow, yeah. Yeah, that's an endeavor. Well, that's what this... See, that's the thing, solfeggio frequencies, if I think I know what you're saying. It's definitely like the multitude of sounds that I can access. But with the pan flute, I can do a very similar thing. Like the pan flute is definitely... Let's get it up there. I wonder, I know a friend of mine, and I've seen random people. He's not a friend of mine, he's a YouTuber I follow. He's like sponsored from Temu. And for some reason, low key, I'm almost just like, bro, wouldn't it be super dope to be sponsored by Temu? Like, I know he's sponsored through Facebook, but I think that's something I gotta try. Is like, I gotta like sign up for the Temu sponsorship program. Because I don't think they're, the company's, it's dog shit. It's like, Temu is like weird brand, but what they create is like they basically would send you like their products. Like they'd send you guitars or like amps or random stuff that you'd basically just like give an honest opinion about. I guess people are evil. Exhausted in community. I just exhausted. Attempted to do a charity live stream again. I was able to raise money in the last handful of times. I suppose, I mean, again, like I said from the first idea of introducing a charity live stream, people are not, like, people are all over the map morally, but I think the idea of a charity live stream can be misconcepted. Like, not even, like, going deep into it. Most people, when they see a charity live stream, it's a loaded gun. Like, most people are just like, what's good, Fred? They're, like, they'll associate and almost assume that you're either doing it for views, to grow your channel, not related. Like, you may have a good intention. You spoke of how you really deeply connect with the charity you're trying to raise from. Like, it's really important to you. And you could talk about that all day long, but it seems like a lot of people have a really negative bias. That's kind of basically what I'm saying is people have negative biases for people that are doing charity live streams. Like, it's almost like I wouldn't touch a charity live stream with a 10-foot pole until I've established my brand. Like, I'm making money. People know my intention. They know that I'm an established YouTuber. So when I'm doing a charity live stream, they're knowing that I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart. There's no secondary misconstrued intention. And so then they're going to be like, wow, this guy actually really does stand behind this charity. Because not saying, again, that you're not well-intended, but people will skew that narrative. They will skew their bias all day long. And especially with something like a charity live stream, like, you got to recognize you're playing with fire in some regards. So it's like, you may have good intentions. You could promote your good intentions all day long, but I wouldn't touch a charity live stream with a 10-foot fucking pole until I'm like established. I'm like making money and I can literally like, hey guys, welcome to this charity live stream. Here's a $500 of my own money because I'm making money. I'm a full-time YouTuber. And now let's start the ball rolling. Let's really support this charity. Because like, you could have, again, good intentions. You could really want to support the charity, but it could be this weird convoluted bias that people are like, oh, this guy's doing it for this reason, or, they're going to throw their negative biases all day long. So, yeah. 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 That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Renescio Deo. Cool name. Yeah. Again, like, bro, I wouldn't take it to heart. Don't, like, understand, like, you will find profound clarity and peace when you don't take people's ill-intended or projections personally at all. Like when you remove yourself from why people are projecting negativity or whatever on you and realizing it's not an personal endeavor, and you yourself can basically extract what this experience is to teach you about the human condition in a healthy way. And again, yeah, like the homie just said, people are good. People are also bad. People are all of these things. They're both of these things always. You know, you can't get fixated on the evil of the world, because the world is evil, but also the world is beautiful. It's good. It's healthy. There's abundant, self-aware, just incredible human beings, right? You know, we can focus on the evil that is present, but we can also focus on the beauty and the extraordinary human beings. I think the extraordinary, beautiful human beings deserve more of our energy and attention, not the evil monsters of the world. And honestly, that's a message that I think is more important than ever right now. You know, a lot of us were drowning in this narrative of all the evilness of the world, all the weird Epstein related bullocks, which is obviously harrowing, but man, like, let's be real here. Like, we can drown in the evil, sorrow built corruption, which is a very true reality. Humans are fucked up. Like, no doubts there. But let us be real here. Let's focus our attention on the beauty, the people that are doing real things. Let's use our energy and our perceptibilities wisely. Like, let's invest our energy in the people that are doing beautiful things and extraordinary things. Let's not distract ourselves with all the crazy toxic dimensions. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, you know me. I'm just I'm going I'm just jumping off of that. Stack another hat. No. Thank you for the compliment, Danielle. But yeah, I don't think I can fit another hat on here, bro. And if I would, then I'd really be pushing it. Yeah. These tones, yeah, associated with the Gregorian chants and ancient tuning. Yeah, nice. I agree with that. I believe in that. Yeah, I really like deep, like ancient sounds. Yeah. Amen. Wow, so this stuff's another hat. So yes. You know, I myself, I'm very attracted to these like, ancient sounds, like these ancient frequency type sounds, like just for the sake of my own sort of creative exploration. Fair enough. I should probably make my way pretty soon. Pretty soon. Probably the next 5 minutes, yeah. Good vibes. Been a music. Been a minute. Thank you. Been fasting my speed day today. Cool music as always. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, it's been an interesting sort of experiment today. Playing around with my Ibanez. Finding the ways to integrate all these sounds. I must say, the hardest part is definitely not even playing the guitar right. Play some country music. I honestly have no idea how to play country music. I've been asked before, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what country music is. Nothing against country music. That's just not my basis of what my style is at all. Yeah. Still trying to find the way. Still trying to find the way this Ibanez can, well, this whammy bar can work. Just play a lot of reels, right? Like folk. Just play a lot of reels, right? Like folk. Huh? A lot of reels, like folk. I'm so confused. I think country music. If I were to, okay, if I were to guess, like I can play any genre of music technically. You know, I can guess. Play a Eruption by Eddie Van. I honestly don't know how to play that song. I'm not a cover artist primarily. Probably a beautiful song. I actually got to check out that song because I've been recently trying to explore Eddie Van Halen. Don't know who he is really. I mean, I know who he is, but no, don't know his music or how to perform it. But I also don't want to get copyright stricken. That's just facts. If I were to guess what country music is, I think country music is just, you know, creative chord shifts. Maybe less reverb naturally, but I don't know. I'd assume country music is something with some nice happy G chords. Maybe go into some majors. Sure, that's country. That's not country. I can see that being a country song, right? It's a little less country, but who knows? A little bit more, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I'm not a country musician. There's no way. I can try, but it just wouldn't sound, it'd sound forced. Keep it up. We're learning on's the best part. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you. We are learning. We're continuous. Yeah. Ocean waves calming. Yeah, distortion pedal. Play war metal. Interesting. Interesting recommendation. I have no idea how to play war metal. Not even close. Who knows? Once I find a really good pedal and some sort of like powerful sound on my Ibanez, I'm sure I can play any sort of metal. Yeah. War metal. That sounds like a good genre, but I don't know, man. What do you do for food video, like weight loss to transition to beginner calisthenics? Ah. On your other channel, maybe you seem to know all that. Ah. You like on my... Oh, you mean like on my Instagram? Maybe on my Instagram. I have another channel that's like my low-key channel that I don't promote, that I... Just like my performance art channel. But yeah. Weight loss. So what do I do for food? So I'm a vegetarian. Basically, you can watch, I mean, if you're interested, I might actually break down this video because I actually had a couple people that are regular viewers ask about my diet and my relationship with food and etc. And I went off on a tangent for like 40 minutes. So I probably actually will edit a clip from that stream that I did yesterday and share. But basically, long story short, I'm a vegetarian and I eat a very healthy diet, like very quintessential. Like, you know, you could look at like a healthy ass diet, you know, rice, broccoli, sweet potatoes, eggs, more rice, quinoa, a bit of tofu here and there. Like, it's just like clean, healthy, consistent diet. Lots of fruit too, you know, mix it in there. But yeah, I eat and I also have very high quality protein. That's also a bunch of this stuff, but discovered that recently. But I would say, if we're talking calisthenics, your diet obviously is always pivotal, but calisthenics is about progression. Calisthenics, like if you're wanting to learn, you know, as a man especially, like, you know, you have a lot of genetically doing pull-ups, doing maybe muscle-ups on a beginner level, pretty easy stuff. Like you have the muscle mass. Calisthenics is all about progression, right? It's all about creating realistic progressions that when you consistently show up in the gym, you can execute these progressions and they eventually just progress over and over and over again. And the beauty of calisthenics, obviously, is you're using a natural body weight. So the progressions, they're very like natural. Like your body will naturally progress. And when you've progressed, you'll feel the strength. You'll feel the ability to basically, you know, progress in your repetitions, and you'll feel that level of strength that you've built. It's not like you're lifting an external object. It's all internal. It's like your tendon strength, your ligaments that are strong, right? So that's the kind of thing is, I would say, bro, to Mark, you should check out Chris Heria. I don't know his channel. I think he kind of stripped away some of his beginner stuff, but I like Chris Heria. I've been following Chris Heria for a long time. For my calisthenics, that's actually how I learned handstand push-ups. Shout out Chris Heria. He's the guy that actually helped inspire me to be a YouTuber as well. I love him. Please excuse me. Let me play some of the Susan. Don't cry. I no idea, bruv. No idea how to sing that song or perform it. We are done. Listen to Away from the Mire. Huh. It's a beautiful recommendation. Thank you, Mystic Me. Thank you. Thank you. I love this shirt. My favorite color is it's dark red. You can't see the dark red that's in this hat, but it's like dark red, like the color of my Ibanez. Dark red. I love reds. My second favorite color is probably black, like acid washed, black, silver kind of thing. And then my third favorite color is probably gold. Yeah, I like gold. But yeah, Chris Heria, if you're familiar, like Heria. Yeah. Coconut curry, couscous with carrots. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, eating is like, I've, been vegetarian for 11 years, but like, eating comes down, at least in my experience, it comes down to a few things. Obviously, one is creativity, like eating creatively, flavors, etc. Why the hell is all your guitar? Why the hell is it like all of your guitars? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're good. They're, honestly, I got 2 guitars. My other one's kind of busted, but these are beautiful. Yeah, these are very beautiful guitars. It would be interesting to hear your thoughts about hiding while spamming words that will gain attention. Whoa. So it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts about the thoughts you've been hiding while spamming words that will gain attention. Wow. Well, on one hand, I feel like you have a sincere request to actually hear something. You seem to, I don't know if you just, English is not your main language, Nibiru, or Nibihirara. I don't know. But it seems you uninherently worded it in that way where you throw a backhanded compliment. You're interested, you're saying, etc., but something hiding. Again, maybe English is not your primary language, so you've failed to communicate what you've been desiring to communicate. Yeah. Chomp, chewy, chomp is eating, but necessary is not interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I love these guitars too. Not playing the Ibis you got yesterday. Oh yeah, bro. I've been switching in and out. Yeah. Well, that's funny. So there's 2 things I'd like to address. Yeah, no, I mean, I think Miss or Mr. I think it's a miss. I don't know. Let's check. I'm gonna check into the nature of this person to see if they're a troll. Oh, of course, Nibiru's got, okay. Interesting. So he's clearly a troll. So it's your second language. So I'll give you that, brother. But it seems like you fail to communicate effectively. So first language, second language, or second language, that's fair, bro. But I think you don't understand how people communicate on a fundamental level. So that already says that you don't, even if I were speaking in a way that was authentic, was comprehensive, I'm not sure if you're prepared to actually comprehend what I'm saying, if that makes sense. And TikTok matters, bro. Big thumbs down, comedy villain. I mean, your name says it all. I'm sure you're just throwing salt, but I hate TikTok, bro. There's 0 chance I'm doing TikTok mannerisms, bro. Like, I dislike TikTok with a passion. I don't use TikTok. I have 0 desire to use TikTok. I think you're seeing your own lens. You're seeing your own obsession with TikTok, which is pretty bizarre, bro. Yeah. Again, how can I take someone seriously? Kind of sounds like English maybe not be your first language. Nice. Comedy villain, you're hilarious. Thank you for sharing. You're clearly a troll. Like, you're clearly a troll. And I have to say, so this 5 minutes, you've lost your ability to comment because, bro, you're all over the place, bro. You clearly do use TikTok. It shows in your ability to communicate. I've never used TikTok. I don't desire to use TikTok. Clearly, your brain is rotted from using TikTok because you're seeing through a lens that's projecting all this nonsense from the TikTok you're absorbing. So, bravo, comedy villain. Anyways, back to the first comment, because I don't want to fill my comment section with comedy villain. Homie's clearly, he's going through some shit. But yeah, dog, nah. So for Nibiru, I think what you're trying to comprehend or what you're trying to express, if I'm trying to, yeah, make sense of this, if I understand you correctly. So you're asking, what are my thoughts hiding behind this? So I'm not spamming words. I've never been even once. Like, welcome to this channel, first and foremost. Like, welcome. You're probably new. I think you are new, right? So welcome to this channel. I'm here to just express authentically, perform music. I teach people guitar. I do meditative sound journeys. That's the kind of thing I do, right? And again, assuming English you said is your second language, that's okay, brother. You know, you're typing in a prompt. This is a YouTube live stream. That's all good, bro. But again, what you're saying, if you're not aware of it, is you're sending a backhanded compliment. So you're saying you're interested in hear my thoughts, while you yourself are already showing that you don't know how to communicate and you don't know how to comprehend. So even if I was communicating in a way that deviates from your whatever you're trying to do here, like saying I'm getting attention, spam words, again, you Nibru, or sorry, Nibi Rura, you and Comedy Villain are doing the same thing. You are operating from a lens projection of your own nonsense. You know, you've absorbed maybe people that are as you are saying spamming words for attention. As in Comedy Villain says, TikTok nonsense, but I don't use TikTok. I don't even consume other YouTubers. I'm not chronically online. I'm going to assume readily that you and this other fellow are chronically online. And again, we could readily assume you guys have lost the ability to effectively communicate and discern. This is what I'm seeing here. So readily, this is not a personal endeavor. I would say get off the internet. If you want to be a part of this community, learn to communicate a little more effectively. If you desire to be a part of this community, you don't need to be. Actually, I actually am under the impression that yourself and the other guy that I disable his comment, if he's still here, he's not my viewership. You guys are not. You don't know how to communicate, and you're seeing through a lens that is chronically online. You're projecting through some other projector. You're not seeing things clearly. So for one, I don't know. I invite you to sit with that, brother. Because we could talk about these. I could talk about these things all day long. I could communicate in a place that I know for a fact is coming from an authentic place. But if you cannot comprehend that, then it won't matter, right? It's about comprehension. You know, English isn't just about communication, about words being said. It's about comprehending what is communicated, right? Food for thought, my guy. Well, I'm clearly, my guy is a brain dead troll, and he's using a English second language. It's all good, brother. I know you're trying your hardest, Niru or whatever your name was. You're trying your hardest to be funny or comedic. You're obviously, because your comprehension and communication skills are dog shit. You're not getting your point across, but it's all good, brother. You've lost the ability to communicate, so, or you lost the ability to comment. Yeah. I'm an aperture of the universe. Absolutely, friend. Yeah. Honestly say I came off as a troll at first, man. I tested you to see for about. I believe you did. I don't know. I've had a couple people do that. Not many, but but bro, that's why you can see, right? I've already written these people off. Like it takes me a fraction of a second to disable their ability to comment. But, like Captain Villain, like that other fellow, I do enjoy if I have the ability to hold space, for these guys if they're trying to, communicate something, or if they're trying to be funny, or I don't know. I'm trying to like see how they can learn. So when I ban them from this chat, because they're clearly that's the bottom line. They're not my viewership. If a person comes on here and I don't know fails to communicate something, or whatever they're gonna do, project or say some outlandish stuff, they're not my viewership. Nor do I want them in my viewership. I don't want them in my audience. That's cool. That's established. But basically, the thing that I'm doing further is to actually try to like help them learn to see what they're doing may not be what they want to do. If they're a person that's like, all right, blah, 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 let's project or say this or that, who knows? Maybe they're going to go on another stream and say the same thing. Maybe they're going to another streamer, waste other people's comment section space, and they're just going to get kicked all day long off streams, and they're going to be frustrated and confused. So part of me is being like, you know what? I'm going to give them a little bit of a due diligence, be like, okay, let's like try to break down what's going on here. But I do that because I'm amused. I'm doing that because it's kind of fun. It's fun to me. Yeah. Yeah. I did get my guitar. Yeah. What's good, dog? Welcome, cat. No, I mean, honestly, bro, it's been a beautiful stream. I'll be honest. That's probably even part of why I feel so inclined. I've had like 99% like phenomenal interactions. Like this has been a solid stream. We're approaching 3 hours now, but yeah, those last few fellows, they were like, one guy was I guess trying to communicate something about spamming words or something. I don't know. He said some kind of weird backhanded compliment. So I was just like kind of extracting or breaking down what's going on there. But yeah, dog. No, for Cap K, if you haven't been in the stream, this is my new beautiful guitar. Mess that up. Yeah. Let's go to this one and then flip that. Yeah, something along that lines. Yeah. Yeah. I do not. I'm a not a cover artist. Yeah. The fact you remember me is remember us as a genuine. Thank you. Yeah. Of course, bro. I mean, I've been doing these lots. Yeah. Hmm. The kinds of people. Blah blah. The internet has more pros than cons. People lose their communication. Yeah. 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 Hmm. That's exactly right. Flabbergasted. Like that's honestly, if I'm like, sorting out, I'm juggling thousands of people on a stream at a time at some point, not at a time, but like in general, right? And I have like 50 people, some at a max, like 40, 50 people. That's where it's good to have an overarching perspective of, if people are trolling or projecting, it's good for me, to be self-aware and be like, okay, what's the common pattern that's going on? And yes, as I expressed, to these guys very overtly, a lot of people suck at communicating. And it's almost like their inability to communicate, their inability to genuinely, healthily, and effectively communicate, it reflects and reveals a lot about them. So yeah, the internet has pros and cons. People almost like I remember pointing this out in another stream. Some people are like almost like it's like embarrassing their inability to communicate. Their inability also to maybe discern and decipher what the internet is versus the real world. And the same reason why people maybe come with very like triggered, heated arguments. There's like blah 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 blah. Maybe political this that or I don't know bitterness this that. It's like these are people that are like profoundly dysregulated and are just projecting all over the place their own inability to communicate, to regulate. It's all these simple things. It's like there's fundamental core reoccurring patterns of why people do these things. And I don't know. As a streamer, I have a strong ability to facilitate what I want to bring into the stream, right? A mass majority of the time, I'm allowed to set healthy boundaries and be like, okay, well, these people don't belong in this community. But I'm always a curious dude. I'm a student of being like, okay, well, let's go. What's going on here? Why are these people like, entering streams and maybe like acting in such an incoherent way? Like, why are they so unconsciously addicted to going through stream spaces? Maybe this is going on. And they're like programmed to think that it's okay to be so out of pocket and so incoherent. And as a guy, that my core mission, which is a strange paradox, because I know the one fellow that was like, I don't know, Middle Eastern or Indian or something. I like looked at his channel. He like the fellow seemed to actually have a genuine desire to like learn or understand why he had such an inability to communicate. He was like, "Where's the authenticity? Where is that? This?" That's what he was saying. He said it in a very incoherent way, and I think he was maybe trying to troll or be funny to make himself laugh. But he was saying, "Where's the authenticity?" If he had the ability to actually effectively discern and communicate and comprehend, and stuck around, he'd realize that that's a huge intention of my channel. So literally, like, here's a place where I'm trying to penetrate through a lot of the inauthentic, incoherent nonsense and actually introduce an authentic lens. I'm actually trying to, be an advocation of that. And I feel like some people, they're just not my viewers. They'll find whatever they're looking for elsewhere. But I feel like it's important. It's important to let people even just experience that for a second, right? This is a huge part of why I'm a creator in the first place, is I'm trying to offer an authentic presence, whether I'm creating a video, whether I'm doing this in a stream or in any given context. I'm just trying to penetrate people's programming with authenticity. And I do it and all the time, and it's like, I think even if I'm not, even if I'm doing it to people that are so lost in the programming, it's a win-win, right? I'm sitting here objectively seeing my ability to be curious, be open, but not take these things personal. And then other people are getting to hopefully have a seed planted where they can see something different from what they're unconsciously programmed to see. Yeah. I got so much I got to reintegrate in this baby. In fact, you remembers of that? Heck, yeah, yeah. Never sent people of that. I'm from British Columbia, man. Yeah, British Columbia, Canada. Looking into 8th string down the line. That's an amazing thought, bro. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not used to having that high of a fret. Thank you, not MT. I like this hat too. Nice. Thank you for sharing, Alcatraz. Probably not meant to be here, bruv. Again, this is the caveat, ladies and gentlemen, is the people that are like, going out of pocket, saying some outlandish bullocks, you're not my target audience. Like, you're not meant to receive the message. Like, this is a universal imperative, right? Yeah. And it makes it easy. Like, again, it's a gift. Okay, if people are like revealing their character, they're revealing, their own whatever insecurities, right? Make you sound like a nonce. Nice. I don't even know what that is, bro. Honestly, mate, you look like a full nonce. Don't even know what that is, bro. I mean, I'm sure you're the expert here. You're the absolute expert. But for the sake of, I like to keep my comment section relevant. Just gonna make sure, because again, this is the beautiful part, is for those that are genuinely, projecting some sort of nonsense. Even if you're not projecting anything, they're just saying irrelevant shit where you're just like blah 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 in the comment section. You're getting exited out. You're making it easy to filter out, right? Yeah, so exactly. I throw these guys timeouts. Well, timeouts 24. I'll usually give them 10 minutes to think about, why they're desiring to waste people's comment space. If 10 minutes is not enough time, then they'll get kicked out permanently. But again, it's a gift. Like, people are making it easy for me to filter out who's not my target audience. Like, what a beautiful... Couldn't ask for anything more. It's making it easy. It's making the algorithm... I'm working with the algorithm. So the target audience, that people that do resonate with this energy, with my channel, devoted musicians, free thinkers, these are the people I want in my channel. Everyone else, go enjoy brain rot AI streams. For all I care. Like, thank you, bro. I like my hat too. feel like this is where high, this is what this high, I think working on these squeals and these mutes is going to be my next massive thing. I'm out here jumping around. Nice. Like Coconut Head. Nice. Sick, dog. Yeah, thanks, dog. How long have I been playing for? Something that you're not a brain rot AI stream. You've been fooled. You got me, dog. I am a brain rot AI stream. This has all been AI the entire time. All of this, bro. What you thought I was a real person? You thought I wasn't AI? Well, AI is getting so sophisticated that yeah. No, I'm very against AI. Yeah. No, any Clash tunes. I have an electric guitar that was custom made for me, like a Gibson Les Paul. Yeah. How long have you been playing for? I've been playing electric guitar for I played electric guitar for 6 years as a kid, and then I played acoustic guitar, like that is acoustic fingerstyle, for about 10 years after that, and then another year. So basically, yeah, electric guitar technically 16 years, and acoustic guitar 11 years. But that being said, I've been out of a electric guitar for like freaking 4 months now because I broke my other one. Sadly, I didn't break it; it just exploded. Wow, 1.29, nice. We're almost at 1.3K. This is awesome. We're so close to 3K. Or 1.3K, not 3K. That's tight. 7 subscribers away. That's cool. So much to learn, so much to learn. It's great though. What is a good pecker wood? Interesting. I don't even know what a pecker wood is, but here's looking at you, pecker wood, from one pecker wood to another. Yeah. Have you ever tried 432 hertz? Absolutely, I have non-MT. I have, yes. That's a beautiful compliment. Yeah. No, 432 hertz rocks. Jesus. Yeah, no, but I use 432 often. This is a Floyd Rose, so I can't really, I can't, they're locked tuners, so I'm going to keep this on standard, but yeah. Let's go back to something silky. Off and on. Look at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson? Whoa. I read that wrong. That's weird, bro. I mean, I get slash all the time, but that's a weird compliment. I don't know if Michael Jackson's a very good compliment. Let's flip that down. Have I ever considered a nose job? Nicole, what the fuck is going on there? I've never in my life. I love noses that I have genetically, bro. I don't know, Nicole, have you considered a nose job? Are you into your nose job stuff? Let's flip this. Man, so much though. So much going on in that higher realm of these, these like higher realms of the Ibanez. I've considered one for you. Whoa. I don't even know what to say about that. I've never in my life considered a nose job, Nicole, but maybe today's the day. Maybe you're gonna enlighten me. I don't know. Interesting. I didn't time her out. I think that was YouTube, maybe. I don't know. I didn't do anything to her. I was letting her cook. Something, something. Yeah, I guess. I don't know how that works. That sometimes happens. YouTube just kind of boots people's messages out there. How does it make sense, though? She wasn't even saying anything. Like, she wasn't even really going in. That's weird, bro. Well. Oh, well. I think it's high time. High time. Yeah, it's a nice 313. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this stream. I think we're gonna put a nice close on this. Yeah. YouTube censors feminine humor. I don't even know. I think maybe she censored herself. Maybe she just had regrets. She had regrets. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Yeah. Beauty. That's 212 here, or at least 213 now. Yeah. Magic. All right, I think we're going to put a close to the stream. Yeah, thank you so much for chiming in. Very much. Yeah, I'm gonna, I don't know, eat some food, maybe go for a run in the snow. It's a snow run. I think that sounds like a fucking dope move, man. Magical. Thank you so much for chiming in. Yeah, deeply appreciate the support. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but we are on the road to 4K watch hours. That's gonna happen pretty soon. We're rapidly accelerating. I think we're at like 17 or 1800, but yeah. Away from the Mars. She really wants me to do that. I would love to. I would love to check that out. I forgot originally, but away from the mire. Man. Yeah, some interesting. That's the thing is, man, I have to say, I feel very grateful. Oh, wow. Billy Strings. This dude looks. He's passionate. He's going in. At least the live version I'm seeing. But yeah, some interesting people today. Most people, honestly, like I said earlier, really beautiful mixture of interactions. Like even yesterday, I felt like there was some extraordinary interactions. It's interesting how, and this movie makes sense. I've been sort of like doubling down consciously on just, throwing people 10-minute timeouts here and there, really just successfully moderating. Because that's the thing is like moderators are great. The idea of moderators, I'm sure when I have like 100,000 subscribers, I'll probably need moderators. I'll probably need a team of moderators. But it's interesting how I think successfully moderating, like facilitating the stream, a lot of it has to do with literally just having like a clear set of boundaries of being like, oh, well, this person did that, well, give them a timeout here. If this did that, okay, permanently gone. It's like once you become really easy, like it's like an unconscious thing where you're like, okay, well, this is clear the boundaries of the stream. Then it becomes really easy to moderate. Like, and it becomes easier for the people that you want to be a part of the stream to enter and resonate and connect. Right. Thank you. Marlon Rudette. Nice. I don't know, bro. I've gotten so many different people. Let's check out who this homie is before I leave. Marlon. Yeah, no. Whoever I'm saying I'm apparently look like, I'm sure it's high praise. Rudette. Huh. Huh. Interesting. English singer songwriter. English. Well, that makes sense. I'm part English. I can kind of see it. I can kind of see he's got like a similar facial structure. He's often doing this kind of like, he's got very thick eyebrows, but he seems chill. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. It's the new country. The new country. Well, damn. Yeah, I got that. I'll got that open. Once I exit the stream, Oh, wait, actually, I exited out of it. That's a lie. Let's see. Away from the mire. Away from the mire. But yeah, anyways, what I was kind of summarizing, it's interesting. I definitely noticed there's a very interesting wave of people. The more you successfully crystallize your intention with your boundaries on a YouTube stream, like literally as simple as like, let's toss out this person or, time out this person just by, precedent. then it becomes so easy to actually just genuinely attract and align the people in your stream. And I think that's weirdly enough, that's a thing that transcends moderators. Like you could have the greatest moderators in the world, but I think it's more about what you as an individual know how, like what your ability to moderate is, and just doubling down on that. What is the best guitar to start with, whether it's an acoustic or electric? I don't know. That's a broad question. I don't know all the different guitars. I started on a Yamaha when I was like 10 years old, and then I progressed to an acoustic guitar. Not this one, but I like got a little half-size acoustic. I don't even know what brand it was. And then when I was about 11, I got a Jackson. And I honestly, the Jackson was a game changer. I played on a Jackson constantly, had like really silky pickups. I learned like tons of Avenged Sevenfold and Disturbed and System of a Down and all that stuff. And then when I turned about 19, 20, then I got this acoustic, right? And then fast forward, now I'm 31. I've been just like shredding tentatively with my Jackson, playing tons of acoustic. So yeah, I don't know. Yamaha guitars are a great place. I really advocate Jacksons. I recently got an Ibanez, but that's not really a beginner-friendly guitar, from what I understand. But I would advocate the fuck out of Yamaha, acoustic and electric, and Martin guitars as acoustic are really good. Yeah. What's good? What's good, Chloe? Yeah, but I think we're about to do an outro. Outro time. Let's see. Best to start is acoustic. Yeah. Not a bad take. I personally never been super attracted to nylons. I mean, I love nylons, but as a beginner, I think steel strings are actually like a really strong place to start because it really gives you the ability to develop calluses. Because nylon or not, this is the key thing. You gotta develop calluses. Nylon, steel string. I think electric guitars as a Jackson, it allowed me to like steadily build my calluses. But you need calluses. Like, I mean, less with a nylon. But if you're playing a steel string and you want to play strong harmonics, and you want to do like, full clear bar chords, you're gonna need calluses. How do you develop calluses? You gotta have like tension, right? But yeah. It's all up to you, though. Yeah, no wrongs. Cool. Well, anyways, thank you so much for chiming in. We're going to do our outro. So if this content resonates with you, feel free to follow this channel. Yeah. Do you want to know the only two things you need to know about me? Yeah, for sure. Lay it on me. Lay it on me, Chloe, before I leave. Sure. I started on a guitar, sounded like 5 strings. The fork. Cool. I don't know what you mean by that. August Rush. Nice. Genius. Genius. Wow. We got a comedian in this bitch right here. Yeah. I love the drums and I'm obsessed with Green Day. Nice. Thanks for sharing. Anyways, thank you so much for chiming in. Deeply appreciate. I don't know the opinion on the Mendes model. Honestly, never played it. Never played it, friend. Yeah. Nice. I really appreciate, what's his name? Let's see. I like we're getting a nice feel of who to permanently ban. Yeah. So right before we leave, yeah, thank you, what's his name? Hasha. Thank you, brother. I won't see you in 24 hours, I imagine. Goodbye. You're making this easy, bruv. And then, I don't know, this guy, I have a weird feeling about TX Nui. I'm just going to hide him permanently. Anyways, thank you so much for chiming in. If you feel called or resonate with this channel, feel free to subscribe, yeah. I teach guitar and I do meditative sound journeys among various types of music stuff. Yeah. Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. You're really pushing that. I'll check it out, dog. I'll type it in. Dire Straits. I kind of like the Money for Nothing. I'll check that out, dog. I got you, bro. I typed it in. I don't know. I got so many different recommendations chilling on my thing, but I love the recommendations. I love the passion for music. Anyways, yeah, if this content resonates, feel free to check it out or check out my content, follow this channel. Much love. Remember to honor yourself and honor each other. Bless. Ashe.